What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 9WI, Chapter 181 Massacre. The Three Kingdoms Shake. Zhang Yang can be 100% sure. It is impossible for people in the Eternal Starfield to have seen the power of the Door Fruit. After all, this is a specialty of One Piece world. Only people in the pirate world know the existence of the Door Fruit. The Dawn Poseidon originally incorporated the power of the Door Fruit, which was originally used for space jumping, but at this time Zhang Yang had a whim, and wanted to try the effect of the Dawn Poseidon launching the Door Fruit. Result. Zhang Yang is very satisfied with the Menmen Fruit on the Shiguang Poseidon. It can move the engulfed attack to any position to launch the attack. Just now Zhang Yang directly opened a door above the four starships, intending to destroy the starship where Lan Tuotu was. Unexpectedly, the position of the door opened a little bit. Hit the starship next to it. But even so, Zhang Yang is also very satisfied with the ability of that Door Fruit. It is absolutely possible to catch the 843 opponent by surprise. With the way of the other, return it to the other body. At any position, return the opponent's attack to the opponent. It was absolutely impossible for Lan Tuotu to think that the Shiguang Poseidon was not armed with such a heaven-defying ability. One does not check. One of the four starships was destroyed on the spot. Seeing that there were only 3 starships left, Lanto's eyes were about to burst. The construction of Holy-class starships is very difficult, and with the efforts of the royal family, only 3 or 4 ships can be built at most. This time, in order to deal with Zhang Yang, Lan Tuotian launched all 4 starships in the family. I thought that the momentum was so strong that Zhang Yang and his party could be terminated directly. Unexpectedly, in the end, it turned out that one of the Holy-class starships, which was almost inexhaustible, was destroyed. Thus, how to explain to the elders of the family? Lan Tuotu can even imagine how terrible it would be for the elders of the family to burst out with thunderous anger. Since time immemorial, no one in the Eternal Starfield has dared to move the starship of the Lanto family. The Lanto family has ruled the Eternal Stars for 10,000 years. Even the Heavenly Emperor who came from the Northern Cold Immortal Domain was suppressed by my Lanto family. How dare you destroy the starship of my Yan Tuo family? Lan Tuotu's face was cold, and he said with a murderous look in his eyes. Zhang Yang sneered. He has never heard of the Lanto family. Eternal years ago, there was indeed a heavenly emperor from the Northern Cold Immortal territory who descended on the Eternal Star territory, and the 12 royal families did indeed take action. However, what kind of power is Yindi? That's sweeping the sky. One person alone decides through the ages. Dare to walk on the ancient starry sky road alone. A person who challenged the heavens by himself. How could it be suppressed by the 12 royal families? After Fen Shoner boarded the ship, Zhang Yang also asked her to inquire about the situation of the Eternal Starfield in private. He is very clear about the level of the Lanto family. It's just a Saint King sitting in town. Zhang Yang can transform a heavenly emperor at will, and he can suppress it. Still want to challenge him. 12 royal families are qualified to challenge the Emperor of Heaven, but to challenge him as the Black Emperor, the only way is to die. Hearing Lan Tuotu's words, Zhang Yang said lightly, "Don't worry, none of the 4 starships today can return to Eternal Star." What a big tone. Why, do you want to destroy all 4 starships of my Lanto family? Lan Tuo sneered. What's the problem? Zhang Yang said blankly. Hearing this, King Lan's expression immediately became extreme. The 12 royal families in the Eternal Star region originally plundered and made their fortunes, and their behavior and temper were originally rebellious. Unexpectedly, Zhang Yang's is even more rebellious than these royal families. Upon hearing Zhang Yang's words, Lan Tuo Tudang laughed and said, "Boy, since the day my 12 royal families rose up in the Eternal Starfield, no one has dared not to take our royal family seriously and destroyed a starship. Do you think that all starships have been destroyed?" Lanto said with a livid face. Since ancient times, the Tian-Er royal family has been the absolute ruler of the Eternal Starfield. The countless races living on the 4 major planets are all slaves raised by the 12 royal families. With their status, they are absolutely supreme in the Eternal Starfield. That Zhang Yang wiped out 1 royal family, and dared to provoke the remaining 11 royal families. Audacious in the extreme. So what if he destroys a starship? The strength of the 12 royal families is simply unimaginable. How could the people on the Poseidon ship of the Dawn be able to compete with the 12 royals? Thinking of this, a trace of contempt immediately appeared in Lan Tuo's eyes. The looting group obeyed the order to kill everyone on that spaceship, and reward each head with 10,000 gold. If anyone can take that guy's head, he will be rewarded with 100,000 gold, and let him become the captain of a starship. Ren Tuotu gave orders immediately. Hear this. After seeing the starship being sunk, the members of the looting group whose morale was greatly damaged suddenly showed overwhelming excitement in their eyes. Just kidding, the captain of a Saint-class starship. What a noble status is that. Being able to become the captain of the holy ship can soar into the sky in an instant and become a core member of the royal family. Moreover, holding a holy ship in hand. In the future in the Eternal Starfield, if you don't encounter other royal family holy ships, you can walk sideways. Therefore, hearing Lan Tuotu's words, the people on the remaining 3 starships immediately became excited. Members of the looting group wearing mechas screamed strangely, and immediately rushed towards Shiguang Poseidon. Look around. There are tens of thousands of members of the densely packed looting group. There are huge crowds of people, and the terrifying momentum set off can directly scare ordinary people out of their courage. The members of these plundering groups were originally the elites raised by the 12 royal families. In peacetime, he is a thief, and in wartime, he becomes a soldier and becomes a king. Armed by the mechs, the members of these plundering groups are at least as strong as a vice admiral. Even the outstanding one, comparable to admiral, is no problem. Tens of thousands of members of the plundering group shot together, enough to sweep the entire pirate world. Seeing the people on the 3 starships making moves one after another, Bullet changed his gaze and said, "Captain, let us untie these miscellaneous fish." Zhang Yang nodded silently. To deal with these ants, he naturally didn't need to do it himself. After a few hums and 3.8 beeps, a total of 6 or 7 crew members made a move and rushed towards the members of the robbery group. A shocking explosion immediately appeared in the sky. I saw the crew members of the End of Era mobilizing their fruit abilities one after another. Yellow sand, sword light, knife light, fist sound. There are many kinds of attacks. The strength of the several major crew members, the weakest one, is also comparable to the existence of a small sage. Tens of thousands of members of the plundering group, in front of them, are just a group of ants who have an advantage in number. It's just chopping vegetables. Several crew members made their moves, like an autumn wind sweeping fallen leaves, and within a breath, thousands of members of the looting group fell. 4 or 5 minutes later. In the sky, where is there another member of the robbery group? Tens of thousands of members of the looting group were killed within a few minutes. Totally a one-sided massacre. Chapter 182, Celestial Strength. Flip hand plastic mountains and rivers. My raiding party, seeing the looting group that was wiped out in minutes in the sky. The 3 members of the royal family on the starship in the middle were bleeding from their hearts. The eternal star field is huge. There are also many races living on the 4 planets. But there are very few people who are qualified to become a plundering group. Not only must one be loyal to the 12 royal families, but one must also excel in strength. The members of the 3 major looting groups under the command of the 12 royal families only totaled 500,000. There are at least 80,000 members of the crew who rushed to the Dawn Poseidon just now. 80,000 people were slaughtered in a few minutes. It's just killing pigs. Even easier than killing a pig. How could this group of strangers suppress the 80,000 looting group members so easily? The 3 members of the royal family not only felt sorry for the killing of the looters, but also were so shocked that they couldn't even speak when they saw the strength of the crew on the Dawn Poseidon. 80,000 people, even pigs, cannot be settled in a few minutes. These strangers actually completely crushed the people who robbed Beijing. It just doesn't make sense. Lan Tuotu's face was completely covered by murderous intent. Among the 80,000 people, there are at least 50,000 people belonging to his Lanto family. In a short while, 50,000 people were lost. In the eternal star field, although the strength of the Nalanto family is the strongest, losing tens of thousands of people in one breath is enough to hurt the Dengtuo family. In this star field, there is no law. Whoever has the strongest family can dominate the eternal star field. The people who relied on the raiding group in the family before were powerful and numerous. The Lanto family can overwhelm the remaining 11 royal families. Now that they have lost 50,000 people, even if they were to join the Lan Tuo family group, their vitality would be severely damaged. In the face of those forces that covet the status of the Lanto family, how will the Lanto family suppress them? The tens of thousands of members of the robbery group of my 3 royal families were killed by you like pigs and dogs. If you don't report this bloody feud, how will my 3 royal families gain a foothold in the eternal starfield in the future? Lan Tuo said expressionlessly, the murderous intent in his eyes was cold, like ice, which would never melt. With a calm face, Zhang Yang greeted the crew to return to the deck. It's just tens of thousands of looting groups, so make a fuss. These monsters on the Dawn Poseidon, not to mention the tens of thousands of members of the raiding group, even if there are hundreds of thousands, Zhang Yang believes that they can easily support them. He had no intention of making a move before. It's not that they are worried about not being able to suppress the tens of thousands of looting groups. It's nothing more than trying to give the crew a chance to exercise themselves. Use the power of Zhang Yang to transform the fruit. In this starry sky, only suppression. There were tens of thousands of looting groups in the area. If Zhang Yang personally took action, he might be able to kill them instantly with just one face-to-face encounter. I saw that it took a few minutes for the partners to solve it. Although the ending was happy, Zhang Yang was still a little dissatisfied, and secretly said, it seems that the strength of my partners will continue to improve, otherwise, how can I travel through the world with me? Shaking his head, Zhang Yang put away his thoughts. His eyes fell on Na Lan Tuotu, and he said lightly. Give you 1 minute to escape. If you can escape, I will let you survive. If you can't escape, don't blame me for killing them all. What? You let us run for our lives? Lan Tuo asked with a dark face. Zhang Yang said. Why, 1 minute is not enough. Then I will give you 2 more minutes. If you can escape within 3 minutes, I will not hunt you down, otherwise. Before Zhang Yang finished speaking, Lan Tuotu interrupted and said. Boy, you don't take my royal family too seriously. Do you think that you will win this battle? You still have 2 copies of 30 seconds. Zhang Yang stood with his hands behind his hands, counting the time. It's unreasonable. This guy doesn't care about our 3 royal families. This person must be taught a lesson. Even if I die today, I must not let him go. That's right, how dare you despise my 3 royal families so much? No one in the eternal starfield has dared to tell my three royal families to escape. You are the first. The members of the three royal families immediately shouted and cursed. Time up. Zhang Yang sighed and said. I gave you a chance, but you don't know how to cherish it, what a pity. The voice just fell. Zhang Yang suddenly flew into the air. Around the body, dense cracks appeared in the endless void immediately. Immediately afterwards, an unimaginable repulsive force erupted from Zhang Yang's body. Like hundreds of mountains, they pressed down to the ground in an instant. The members of the three royal families have not reacted yet. A loud bang was heard, and the three holy-class starships were directly destroyed by the repulsive force. Shenluo Tianzheng, Zhang Yang said lightly. At this time, Zhang Yang was flying in the sky. Illusion the ninjutsu of the gods. Maximize the power of Shenluo Tianzheng. Suddenly, it was as if a piece of sky was pressed to the ground. With a radius of millions of miles, the world is like a dragon in an instant. Unimaginable pressure is raging in this world. Just heard a loud bang. Thousands of miles of heaven and earth, directly plunged into the ground 10,000 zhong. A basin with a size of 1,000,000 miles appeared on Yuha star. Moving mountains and filling seas, changing the sky and changing the land. It even destroyed the 1,000,000-mile eclosion area. On the deck, Fen Tianwo, who Zhang Yang hadn't had time to deal with, was shocked. People from the three royal families were killed. That Fen Tianwo was excited for a long time. They thought that the starships of the three royal families were enough to destroy the Dawn Poseidon. Unexpectedly, a face-to-face. In 387, one of the four holy-class starships was destroyed. It's just a monster. What means? That man named Zhang Yang is even more terrifying than the Heavenly Emperor. On Yuha star, a basin was created. But, now, another breath of air has sunk the earth for 1,000,000 miles. The 80,000 looting group was also killed in a few minutes. Heavenly Immortal. He actually possesses the power of an immortal. Fen Tianwo's mind was shocked, and his eyes on Zhang Yang had changed from fear to horror. Before that, Zhang Yang flattened the land of millions of miles with one sword, turning the land of millions of miles into a desert. I thought that if the people from the three royal families took action, it would never make Zhang Yang feel better. Not only created a Gobi desert on Yuha star, but also created a basin. In an instant, the land of millions of miles was sunk by tens of thousands of feet. Even those amazingly talented emperors in the northern cold immortal territory cannot have such a heaven-defying means. The repulsion emanating from Zhang Yang is simply heaven-defying. Such a big Yuhuixing, in front of him, is simply a ball of dough. With just a few flips, he can reshape the geographical landscape of Yuhuixing. The remaining three royal families are the only hope for Fen Tianwo to take revenge. Fen Tianwo never imagined that before the members of the three royal families could make a move, even their bones would be blasted into nothingness. Chapter 183. Manners. An eye for an eye. A fairy is a kind of existence in the legend. According to legend, the emperor who reincarnated 9 times can achieve the realm of immortality. Throughout the ages, countless heavenly emperors with monstrous aptitudes wanted to achieve the realm of celestial beings. But in the end, they can only drink their hatred under this starry sky. No one can stand against the river of time. Even the emperor of heaven was nothing more than a wisp of dust before the long river of time. Although Fen Tianwo's status in the Fen clan is not very high, he is still an elite clan member. Growing up, I have heard many legends. He knows that in this starry sky, there is a road that can enter a mysterious world, which is called the Starry Sky Ancient Road. The universe is boundless, but there is only one ancient road to the starry sky. The eternal starfield happens to be on the extension of the Starry Sky Ancient Road. From ancient times to the present, there have been many heavenly emperors who have set foot on the ancient road of starry sky from Beihan immortal territory and passed through eternal star territory. There are also many legends left in the eternal starfield. That Fen Tianwo knew very well how terrifying the strength of a heavenly emperor was. However, seeing Zhang Yang's methods at this time, suddenly, he affirmed burning heaven and exterminating riches without hesitation. Zhang Yang is an existence more terrifying than a heavenly emperor. He is the real ruler of this universe. Even the emperor of heaven will be overshadowed in front of him. And there is an existence more terrifying than the emperor of heaven, only the legendary celestial immortal. Thinking that Zhang Yang was most likely an unknown celestial being, Fen Tianmi couldn't help but want to slap himself twice. It's just boring. Even if it is the emperor of heaven, he is not qualified to contend against Fen Tianwo. What's more, it's a fairy. That day immortal is the supreme overlord who even the emperor of heaven would hang up to fight. With his meager skills, he dared to discuss with the clan elders to plot against Zhang Yang. It's like eating the heart of a bear and the guts of a leopard. Even angels dare to plot. Isn't this too long? Boom. At this time, I saw Zhang Yang lightly falling onto the deck. With a movement of his eyes, he put away the ability to transform fruit, and his breath became normal again. Seeing Fen Tianwo's stunned expression, Zhang Yang stretched his waist and said, Lao Sha, get rid of these guys. Boom. As soon as Zhang Yang finished speaking, Fen Tianwo's eyes were filled with fear, and he landed on his knees, kneeling directly in front of Zhang Yang. Senior, I didn't know Taishan before, and I was so bold as to plot against my senior. I really deserve death, but God has the virtue of good life. I hope that senior will let us live if we are willing to convert to senior with sincerity. Zhang Yang said without looking back. Why, don't you dare to plot against me now? Fen Tianwo slapped himself across the face. At this time, getting a few slaps is easier than losing your life. Even if Fen Tianwo fanned himself into a pig's head now, he didn't dare to admit that he wanted to plot against Zhang Yang. Senior, I realized I was wrong, Fen Tianwo said while slapping himself. Zhang Yang looked at Fen Tianwo indifferently, and said, I, the Black Emperor, have always had a rule in my life. If you have a favor, you must repay it. If you have a grudge, you must avenge it. Since you dare to plot against me and the matter is exposed, don't say you slap yourself. Even if you cut off your head, I will never let you go. Hearing this, a sinister smile appeared on Clockadar's face. Immediately afterwards, he saw his body explode directly, turning into a piece of yellow sand, rolling across the inside and outside of the cabin. Within a few breaths, the Dawn Poseidon was wiped out, and all the Fen people on board were sucked into human beings. Of course, that Fen Shoner was Zhang Yang personally recruited a maid on board. When K Lock Deer attacked the Fen clan, naturally he didn't dare to suck her up as well. Seeing that the clansmen were easily killed by Zhang Yang's crew, Fen Shoner had a wry smile in her heart. In fact, seeing Fen Tianwo and Zhang Yang's confrontation just now, Fen Shoner was a little excited. If the Fen clan teamed up with other royal families to really suppress Zhang Yang, then Fen Shoner would also end her life as a slave on the ship from now on. Opening parenthesis. Who would have thought? Not only is Zhang Yang's strength terrifying, but everyone on this boat is also a monster. The tens of thousands of looting groups were all eliminated like chopping tofu. Even the 3 royal families and the 4 holy ships were destroyed by Zhang Yang. With the strength of everyone on this boat, Fen Shoner was afraid that she would never be able to stand up for the rest of her life, and would only be a maidservant on the Dawn Poseidon for eternity. Thinking of this, Fen Shoner naturally felt a little bitter. But Zhang Yang didn't care about Fen Shoner's mood. After ordering Lao Sha to kill the members of the Fen family, he also ordered him to throw the corpses of the members of the Fen family into the Shiguang Poseidon. Immediately afterwards, the Shiguang Poseidon was activated, flew up, and flew directly in the direction of Eternal Star. At the same time, on the Eternal Star, in the land of the Lanto clan, a middle-aged man hurriedly entered a stone room in the forbidden area. Old ancestor, it's not good, the middle-aged man said with a lying face. People talked a lot, felt the will of the emperor raging in the world, and countless people immediately guessed the emperor Zhang. What's going on? What kind of big enemy is about to appear? The Lanto royal family actually cleared the emperor Zhang. I saw patches of golden light suddenly intertwined and trembling in the stone chamber. Immediately, I heard the old voice say again. The middle-aged man suddenly looked overjoyed, and said, I will obey the decree of the ancestors. This sword was specially forged to kill those heavenly emperors in the northern cold immortal territory. Could it be that a heavenly emperor has come to my eternal star now? Within a million miles, endless races felt this will, and half kneeled down with fear on their faces. Amidst the buzzing sound, he saw the endless golden light directly condensed into Li Wangjiao, a golden sword. The golden sword hadn't struck yet, but just as it emerged from the stone chamber, half of the eternal star suddenly trembled. As if in a place that had been sleeping for eternity, an emperor-like will emerged from the sword, and with a buzzing sound, it swept out in all directions. HMPH, you have the guts to wake me up for such a small matter. The old voice was very dissatisfied and snorted coldly. Say it, what's wrong? Since there is a big enemy coming, I will give you the Emperor Zhang temporarily. You must know how powerful this sword is. You also know how to activate it. Take this sword and bring that person's head to this old man. Come. There was nothing in the stone room, but just after the middle-aged man finished speaking, he heard an old voice coming from the stone room. Old ancestor, a great enemy has come to kill him. Not only the 3 major royal families, including the Lanto clan, died at the hands of this person, but even the Fen clan on Yuha planet was uprooted by this person. If the ancestor does not act, I'm afraid that in this starry sky, there is no one who can avenge our Lanto clan. The middle-aged man hurriedly knelt on the ground and said, Are you kidding me? The resources of the northern cold immortal territory have already been divided up by the previous heavenly emperors. The remaining resources are no longer enough to train another heavenly emperor. How could a heavenly emperor come to my eternal star? Chapter 184. At this time, in the land of the Lanto clan, the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong led a group of elites from the clan to gather in the open space. They all looked towards the sky with serious expressions, as if they were waiting for something. The patriarch, Lan Tuoxiong, held a golden sword in his hand. The sword undisguisedly radiated a huge deterrent force. This is the clan's treasure, Zondi's sword, guarded by the ancestors of the Lantuo clan for generations. This sword is so powerful that it can kill a heavenly emperor-level powerhouse with a single strike. Taking out this sword at this time is for the next fierce battle. Patriarch, they are coming. At this time, someone pointed to the sky and shouted. At the junction of the nebula, a flying ship changed from small to large, and gradually appeared in front of everyone's sight. Zhang Yang standing on the deck of the Dawn Poseidon, couldn't help laughing when he saw this scene. What, is this welcoming me? The boat hadn't stopped yet, but the loud voice had already reached the ears of all the Lanto people. This undisguised ridicule made all the Lanto people angry. HMPH, arrogant man, how long will you be proud? Lan Tuoxiong held the emperor-slaying sword in his hand, and at this moment his heart was already 370 full of confidence. Hee, you guys still have a bit of backbone. Is it because my reputation as the Dark Emperor hasn't spread to your Lanto tribe yet? Zhang Yang stood on the bow of the Don Poseidon, and looked down upon all living beings under his feet. HMPH, do you know this sword? Lan Tuoxiong held up the emperor-slaying sword, proudly. I saw that the sword was shining with golden light, eye-catching and moving, and the sword exuded a strong aura of a king. People couldn't help but want to surrender to it when they saw it. Zhang Yang bent over, lowered his head to look carefully, and asked curiously, this sword is not bad, can you lend it to me? After speaking, a giant hand appeared to try to grab the sword, and the clansmen behind them screamed in shock at the scene. Lanto Shangye looked at the giant hand that appeared out of thin air in horror, and hurriedly waved it. The giant hand turned into sand. Lan Tuoxiong breathed a sigh of relief, but fortunately he reacted quickly, otherwise the Zondi sword was taken away, and he would be dead as a Tuo clan. This Dark Emperor is really clueless. How can he do anything regardless of the occasion? How could anyone snatch someone's weapon before a fight? Lan Tuoxiong had a strange expression on his face. Huh. Zhang Yang twitched his eyebrows, widened his eyes and said, is this sword weird? His transfigured fruit can copy anyone's ability. Although he used the ability of Clocodar's sand fruit just now, he is aware of the power of this strength. Not to mention wanting to grab a sword, even if they smashed the heads of the people below, there would be no problem. But just now, the fact that he directly grabbed the sword was completely beyond his expectation. This sword, which was supposed to be 100% in his hands, is still in the hands of the opponent Lan Tuoxiong intact, which is really weird. HMPH, are you afraid? Lan Tuoxiong proudly said. This, emperor-slaying sword, is an ancient sword, its power is infinite, it is no problem for this sword to kill a master with your strength. I advise you to hurry up and beg for mercy obediently, maybe I can leave you a whole body. Begging for mercy. Zhang Yang raised his eyebrows, and said without hesitation, you are really arrogant. Today I want to see if this, emperor-slaying sword, can kill me, the Black Emperor. As soon as the two sides disagreed, they began to explode with amazing power. The two forces collided and resisted each other. Zhang Yang held the Sea of Stars in his hand, and the strength of the illusion fruit broke out in an all-round way, and a huge force that could destroy the entire Lanto tribe was directly suppressed. I saw Lan Tuoxiong swiping his hand on the Emperor Zan's sword, and the golden light on the Emperor Zan's sword instantly turned into a blood-colored red light. Not only that, but the power emitted by the Emperor Zan's sword was also just several times. Slay the Emperor with one sword. Lan Tuoxiong shouted angrily. AHBH. The Emperor Zhangjian followed his trajectory, and slashed towards the power of the stars that was covering his head, and even directly cut out a blood-red sword energy to collide with the power of the stars. In an instant, the power of the stars, controlled by Zhang Yang, was cut in half by the sword energy of the Emperor-slaying sword. It's not over yet. Zhang Yang laughed. Everyone in the Lanto clan turned pale with shock. This Dark Emperor was able to return their Emperor-slaying sword chi attack intact. What? Lan Tuoxiong was taken aback. Let's wait until you can block this blow. Slay the Emperor with one sword. Another sword chi swung out. Lan Tuoxiong looked at the door that appeared out of thin air again with a puzzled face, and he had a bad premonition at this time. The Emperor Zan's sword chi that cut through the power of stars has not dissipated, but is coming straight in front of Zhang Yang. The sword energy that I had just slashed out with all my strength just now dissipated. What happened? And what was that door just now? A new type of defense. Lan Tuoxiong broke out in cold sweat, and quickly raised the Emperor Zhangjian to resist the blood-red sword energy. Although the process was scary and dangerous, fortunately, he blocked the huge sword energy. It seems that I underestimated you. Lan Tuoxiong said angrily. At this time, he gathered his sword again and began to accumulate power. This blow must be stronger than the one just now. This sword was dozens of times stronger than before, and the shocking sword intent made the entire eternal planet tremble. The bloodthirsty red sword light had already reached Zhang Yang. I saw that mysterious door opened, and an astonishing blood-red sword intent came out of the black hole of the door, and slashed straight at Lan Tuoxiong. It's interesting. The door that appeared out of thin air dissipated again out of thin air, revealing Zhang Yang, who was still intact, and he smiled with the corner of his mouth curled up. Immediately, the second sword energy dozens of times stronger has arrived in front of Lan Tuoxiong. How could this happen? Lan Tuoxiong opened his eyes wide and widened his mouth. What is going on? This is the second time. He clearly cut out a powerful sword intent, how could it just disappear out of thin air? Woolen cloth. Hehe, are you done with your tricks? Zhang Yang smiled, but his smile became darker and darker. He grinned and said, it's my turn this time. I want this sword, it's really interesting. Zhang Yang laughed, as if he was not in a hurry at all about the huge sword energy that he was about to face next. The mysterious door opened again, and after devouring the red light, it disappeared again, along with the sword intent that made all living beings tremble. In horror, a door appeared in front of Zhang Yang in an instant, the sword energy was directly absorbed by the door, and the manic blood power instantly disappeared. Chapter 185 Strong Duel. Lan Tuoxiong didn't expect this person to be so strong, but he wasn't afraid at all, wasn't he like that? I have nothing to be afraid of, and my clansmen are all here, and they will definitely support me. Brothers, when you see me in danger, you must rush forward. No matter what happens, as long as you are by my side, I will definitely be able to persevere. When a group of people heard what the group leader said, they quickly responded and shouted loudly, cheering for the patriarch. Patriarch, you must work hard, don't let our whole clan be ruined, we all believe in you, come on, you must work hard. Hearing that this group of people are cheering for themselves here, everyone is very happy in their hearts, and they are also very encouraging toothpaste. This is a fart. How can he fight with the people on his side? It is self-denial. Stop talking about these useless words, hurry up and start, do you still need to talk so much nonsense when fighting me? Hearing such disrespectful tones, I was very angry. What does this mean? Could it be that I felt that I couldn't beat him? I'm just joking here, but I have received professional training. For a salty fish like you, you still want to fight with me. It's beyond your control. I warn you to admit defeat quickly and hand over the sword in your hand to me. Don't be bored. You must know that this, Zondi's sword, is a treasure in their group. Don't think that if you talk like this, I will be afraid. If you have the ability, you can use it more. Don't say such things here. It's useless. It's too funny. What about the characters? Hearing this man's mocking tone, Zhang Yang was very angry. He quickly rushed up, took the Dark Emperor in his hand, and rushed forward without saying a word. You are so overconfident that you are here to fight with me, and you don't even look at how much you are, and you just say these big words here. For Zhang Yang, as long as he can fight, so what if he fails, as long as he wants to do, it is enough to finish, other things are not the most important. You are too much. Since you are saying these things here, I am now warning you to let go now, and don't overestimate yourself. Lan Tuoxiong made the final warning, if he was really talking, he would take his own town treasure and start waving it quickly. Hearing this man say these words, and seeing the dark people behind him at the same time, he laughed out loud. Are you kidding yourself? I don't even look at what kind of identity I am. Can you stop making me laugh here? You are beyond your control. How can you say these things? You don't see what kind of identity you are, just say these boring things here. I nodded myself, but no matter what, I must persevere. This is no bullshit theory. What are you? If you have the ability, let's have a real confrontation. Don't you want this treasure in my hand? Then use your ability to get it. Of course I have the ability, but I don't need him to talk so much nonsense here. We'll see. With a cold snort, he rushed up quickly with the Black Emperor in his hand, straight to the patriarch's head. Maybe it's because I didn't think about what this person was going to do, but when I found out, I'm afraid it was too late. What was he going to do? When Lan Tuoxiong came to his senses, he realized that the head of the Black Emperor was right in front of him, was snatched away by others. At the same time, the group of people behind them were also taken aback. If their bosses are being bullied, what else can they do? Thinking like this, a group of people rushed up quickly. It's impossible to bully our patriarch, let's talk about it after passing our level. Having said that, the whole group of people rushed up, the scene was really terrible, and no one thought that such a thing would happen. Why do you all want to rush up now? I tell you not to feel hateful, now I will let you see what is truly powerful. Hearing what they said, everyone let out a very funny voice in their hearts. When he heard what the other party said, Lan Tuoxiong rushed forward with Shang Fang's sword without saying a word. This sword is very powerful. I will definitely make you regret coming here, don't be wishful thinking, and don't want to take our town's treasure from me, this is impossible, you are simply dreaming here. 0. Seeking flowers, 0. When I heard what he said, I laughed out loud. I really didn't expect that all these things would become what they are today. Seeing Zhang Yang rushing down with a ferocious face, everyone formed a force. Nobody knew something like this was going to happen, it's hilarious that they're kidding themselves here. I don't care what you are going to do, but let me tell you, if you want to use this method to stop me, it is impossible. Don't talk in your sleep here. It's just a joke. You did something like this, it was decided that it was too funny. You don't need to say these words anymore, it's just a joke here, you will know if we are funny here, and now I want to try what is called real strong. Zhang Yang came here by himself, so he didn't know everything that happened here. When Zhang Yang saw this, he knew that he couldn't rush in, but he had no choice, so he had to try. You can't treat me with this, I tell you this sword is strange. It's really exciting, since it's like this, then you have to show your true strength. 0. No matter whether there is something strange or not, I have to try it, and then I still have to feel good to make Zhang Yang regret it. When they heard them say that, everyone smiled, is it easy to talk about it later? Lan Tuoxiong didn't know what they were going to do, but he still watched quietly here, because he believed that the people around him must be the best, and the people in his group must also be the cutest and most powerful. Big. All of them stood together, huddling tightly like ants, making it impossible for this person to rush forward. This is the most terrifying thing. Chapter 186, Peak. I tell you, if you catch you will be caught without a fight. Lan Tuoxiong couldn't stand Zhang Yang's arrogant tone anymore, so he rushed up and swung the weapon in his hand wantonly. No matter what this man wanted to do, he would definitely make him regret it. Zhang Yang didn't care about holding his own Black Emperor. The moment the two confronted each other in the air, there was a dazzling light. The whole world seemed to be enveloped by this light. It was really terrifying. No one in this color expected such a thing to happen. But no matter what, they must now carry out a final desperate struggle. I laughed when I heard the other party say this, but now no matter what, everyone has a light in their hearts. I don't care what you are going to do, but now I tell you that it is impossible for the 240 to change this situation, unless you kneel down and admit your mistakes with me now. Only then can I forgive you. If not, if so, then you definitely have no way to get my forgiveness. Lan Tuoxiong was also a very tempered person, and he was very angry when he heard Zhang Yang say such words. No matter what this man would do next, I would definitely make him regret it, and no one could invade this clan. This is a new realm that I have finally opened up. How can I let this person do these things? It's just a dream here. Zhang Yang, hurry up and get down for me. I'm telling you, if you don't come down again, your life will be gone when I go up. Don't think I'm lying to you here. No matter what Lan Tuoxiong said, he will not be afraid, because he has the Black Emperor in his hand, which is his lifeblood. As long as he protects this thing, no one can hurt him and share it. Do you think I'm afraid of you? I tell you it's impossible. If you talk so much now, I'll let you know what real terror is. How can I say that? Rushing forward with babbles, and at the same time let the people around me have a formal confrontation with them, the whole scene is very chaotic. If it weren't for the clothes he put on, such a thing would definitely not have happened, let alone distinguish such a situation. Such a scene is too huge, too sensational, and too terrifying. The scene was chaotic, but now no one could tell the difference between winning and losing, especially Lan Tuoxiong, holding a sword in his hand, watched them fight together, feeling completely at ease. I am about to win, I am about to fight for the throne, I am about to occupy this place, it is really terrible. You don't need to be proud, this place is not yours, I tell you, as long as I'm here, you don't have to think about winning. Now I'm going to show my best friend, let you see what a real Black Emperor is. I laughed out loud when I heard this man say this. This man was simply joking here, and he was about to win, but he still said these things here. If you have the ability, you should hurry up and use your Black Emperor, don't hide it. Immediately afterwards, he nodded, and the Black Emperor instantly emitted a dazzling light. This light is very dazzling for anyone to see, but Lan Tuoxiong is the only one who is not afraid, because he has this treasure in his hand to protect him, so why should he be afraid of these dazzling appearances? When Lan Tuoxiong took his own sword to the sky, the whole sky found a blue light. None of them thought that this color is so beautiful, like colorful, very dazzling, very enjoyable. The whole person was shocked by this color. It is so beautiful, what does it mean? I saw Zhang Yang stunned and said, how can you have such an ability, and it seems that only gods can have such a function. What are you? Why are you like this? Zhang Yang is really envious, how could there be such a person? But no matter what, once such a thing happened, I would be very boring. I don't care what you guys are going to do next, but you must hand over the Emperor Zan's sword to me now. Is this person joking? What does what he does have anything to do with him? How could he say such a thing? What I want to take has nothing to do with you. I can't give you this sword. I advise you to grab it and leave here quickly, or you won't know how you will die in a while. I laughed out loud when I heard this man say this. Is this a joke? How can I not know how I died? And now I know very clearly that if this continues, the other party will definitely fail, and following me will let him know what is really terrible, so no matter what, this will definitely make the other party regret it. Hurry up and give me this thing now. I can still forgive you, but if you don't give it to me again, I will let you know what is truly terrible. Don't always be arrogant. You hurry up and give it to me now, I will forgive you. The group of people around them laughed when they saw the two of them arguing here. I really didn't expect them to have such a funny side. I thought Zhang Yang was a very scary person, but I didn't expect him to be so cute. Patriarch, or let him see this thing, he doesn't want this person who owns the Black Emperor to envy us. Lan Tuoxiong immediately shook his head. You must know that Zhang Yang is a very irritable person. If you give him something at this time, then this thing will basically come back without a waste. Don't talk nonsense. After finishing this sentence, he said to Zhang Yang very seriously, I warn you to hurry up your appeal, or hurry up and get out of 4.4, don't let me see you again. What's the use? After saying these words, he said to him immediately, if you don't leave, I will send you away, but the method is like, I think you understand it very well in your heart. Don't always think that you are very powerful. What kind of level do you have? Do you have no points in your mind? Lan Tuoxiong didn't grow up on soft food, and he was very angry when he saw him repeatedly infringing on his territory. No one can trample on this place without his permission. I still don't believe it. Today I have to occupy my own place on your 2-acre land. You hurry up and get out of the way, or I will use the Black Emperor in my hand to get rid of you. Chapter 187 Anger. They didn't know what this man was going to do. Lan Tuoxiong was very angry when he looked at Zhang Yang, even though he had a sword in his hand, so what? I am not afraid of anything, and the weapons in my hands are not weak at all. I feel very happy when I think about it, no matter what kind of force they will use next. I have to change myself. There is no way. This is something I want to do in my heart, and it is impossible for others to change it. I don't care what you want to do, but if you want to destroy our domain, it's impossible. I advise you to leave as soon as possible, and don't ask for trouble. You also know my temper, which is not very good. You have to think it through yourself, and then do these things, don't make it very ugly. Zhang Yang is not afraid of these things, he is not a coward. What do you mean by these words? I warn you not to ask for trouble. Lan Tuoxiong was very angry. The group of 07 people around him couldn't bear the desire to kill him. It would be too much to say these things at this time. I don't care what you do, you have to leave next. Lan Tuoxiong felt that he couldn't bear it anymore, so he took out the Emperor Zan's sword, and quickly slashed at it. Emperor Zhangjian is very powerful, this treasure in my hands is simply overkill, and now I feel that this thing is too powerful for me, I have never discovered it before. Only now do I feel his strength. But no matter what, you have to feel it. If you don't leave now, you will die soon, but please don't blame me. Lan Tuoxiong is very cruel now, no matter who it is, the answer to himself is the same. No matter what happens next, I must protect my own territory. No matter what you do, you must not destroy what I want to protect, even if you want to snatch the treasure in my hand, it is impossible, this is the treasure of our town. Hearing him say that, Zhang Yang laughed out loud, is this a joke? I don't care what you say next, I want to tell you one thing now, no matter what you do in the future, you have to, as far as my choice is concerned, you have to change, if you don't change, then there is no way to do anything else. Thinking of this, Zhang Yang rushed down, yee wow. It looks very cruel, but everyone knows that this person is just an empty air, without any feeling, it is impossible to cause them a lot of harm, because this person has no ability. The Dark Emperor, in his hand has no power at all. If you arrest and give up now, maybe you can still live, if you continue like this, you will die a very miserable death in the future. Hearing what Lan Tuoxiong said, Zhang Yang was not afraid at all, or in other words, he was not afraid at all. You old man, stop talking nonsense. What I want to do has nothing to do with you. If you say these words again, then I have no way to change your mind. Hearing what the other party said, Lan Tuoxiong looked at the brothers around him, and he wanted to protect them in this piece of territory. The patriarch should not compromise here, hurry up and rush at this man, he is simply helpless here. Lan Tuoxiong has already felt that Zhang Yang is very troublesome here, and he is making things difficult for himself. In this case, I couldn't say anything more, and then rushed up. If the Black Emperor, in his hand was compared with his own, Emperor Zhangjian, who would die more miserable. If you can trust me, then I can compete with you, but now you will compare with my weapon. Lan Tuoxiong guards his family land, and no one can change it. Anyone who wants to change will die miserably, because no one can change this treasure, or force it. One thing they have to do now is to drive out all people like Zhang Yang. No one can change it, and no one can make such a thing happen. If they want to violate themselves, they have to do it even if they beat them to the shit. No one is anyone's king, and no one is anyone's world. People like Zhang Yang still have certain abilities. They dare to lead people to attack their own territory, so there must be something, but they will not be afraid, let alone regret it. When they thought that all of this was their own fault and had to be punished, they couldn't help becoming stronger. Looking at the people around him, he couldn't help saying to all of them, we have done our best to be landlords, but they don't take what we say as words, and there is no need for us to be polite, brothers, give I kill. They finally waited until the boss finished saying this sentence, their blood was instantly ignited, and that kind of excited feeling was rippling in their hearts for the first time. No one thought that this time they could have a good time. Seeing the madness of this group of people, Zhang Yang and others also felt a little afraid. They really didn't expect that they would look like this when they became crazy, but who wants to change it? Who can change it? This reality is a done deal, so we can only bite the bullet and deal with 280 pairs. I only saw Zhang Yang, and told the group of people behind me to hurry up and stop wasting time here. The moment when the flames of war clash, it is like fireworks that are easy to be cold, and at the moment when they are in full bloom, they instantly turn into beauty. When Zhang Yang and his group saw this situation, there was no need to hold them back anymore, they went to attack quickly, no matter what, they had to rush forward now. I don't care what you are going to do now, but now I have to let you lose, and I will also let you lose. I will let you know that there are some things, as long as I, Zhang Yang, like them, no one can take them away. Hearing this person's arrogant tone, everyone at the scene laughed out loud. This person is really too rampant, and it's for sure. Lan Tuoxiong smiled and didn't speak, because there is no need to talk too much with such a person. Brother, if you say these words, then I don't think I need to listen anymore, you can leave now. Hearing what the other party said, I smiled helplessly, it was just a joke. I, Zhang Yang, swear to you here, if I don't beat you to tears today, my surname will not be Zhang. The people around Lan Tuoxiong laughed when they heard it. This person was simply joking here. Chapter 188 Attack. But after hearing their laughter, Zhang Yang and his group couldn't bear it anymore, and attacked quickly, leaving this person with no choice but no energy to laugh at himself again. Do you think you can make me leave with this method? It's just a joke. Hearing the other party say this, the tone was full of sarcasm and disdain. Of course I didn't say these words again, but I'm just telling you that there are some things that you have chosen to do, so don't repent, because there is no way back. Of course I understood in my heart, but when he said this, I still smiled helplessly, since I have already made a choice, then don't repent, and there is no way to choose other ways. Okay, don't say any more, since you have chosen to attack, let's go to war. The words fell and the sword rose. No one is anyone's hero, but now they have to pay these prices in order to protect one side of the land, so that they can live a peaceful life. This is the belief in each of them, and it is also something they must do. I really didn't expect that you would make such a concession for the people around you, but it surprised me, and now I will let you know what the power of the Black Emperor is. Hearing this person say this, I laughed. I really don't know whether I am strong or not, and I won't know in the future. What you are going to do has nothing to do with me, I tell you to stop making fun of yourself. After hearing them say this sentence, Lan Tuoxiong and others quickly attacked. They absolutely could not bear such grievances and ridicules. These insults were originally given to their own people to listen to, so how could they put them here? You stop joking with me, let's start now. They seem to be discussing it, but they don't know why Zhang Liang keeps avoiding it. They really haven't encountered such a thing before. What is going on, or what is Zhang Yang plotting again? You must know that this man is very insidious and cunning. If he doesn't do something, he must be plotting something. Now I have to find a way to find out the premeditation in his heart. I only heard this man laughing, what can I premeditate? It's just to let them understand that these things they do have a purpose, what's the use of them saying this backquote? Okay, don't think I'm here, because it's impossible for you. While talking like this, he took the people around him and quickly attacked up. The two groups of people quickly reached together. Everyone would be shocked when they saw this scene. They have never seen such a scene before. To be honest, I was still surprised. But at this time, they have all discovered that a group of people have actually slowly exhausted their physical strength. When Lan Tuoxiong saw that the people around him were weak, he couldn't help but worry, what happened? It didn't happen like this before. What happened to you guys? Why did you suddenly become what you are today? When these people heard what the team leader said, they all laughed. Of course, this was pretending. Patriarch, don't be angry. This is a tactic to delay the attack. After he sees it, he will definitely feel that our ability is not good enough. Don't worry, we will definitely treat this war with the best attitude. Hearing the people around him say this, Lan Tuoxiong was very happy, knowing that the people around him would never hold him back, and they were the most powerful, and he would protect them with his life. I knew you were the best. When hearing what they said, everyone laughed. Great, this time the war will end soon. Although everyone didn't know what was going to happen, they all understood now that what they had to do next was certainly not something they could bear. Seeing this, Zhang Yang also showed a relieved expression. Now they are finally able to formally do some things they want to do. Zhang Yang waved the weapon in his hand. He never expected that there would be such a day. He just wanted to leave with what he wanted, but this group of people didn't give him this chance, so he can't blame himself. Because this group of people is so proud, I just wanted to take my things and leave, but you actually left me here, so don't blame me for being rude. You forced me to do this. This group of people laughed and didn't ask them to do other things. Okay, stop talking. We didn't ask you to do this. Don't think that we are forcing you. Hearing what the other party said, he nodded helplessly. Of course they were forcing him to do all of this. Do you think you are not forcing me? You are just joking. Let me tell you, we have to take this thing away, and we have to take it away with pride and ambition. Don't think that I will not be able to defeat you. This is impossible, because with your current abilities, it is impossible to fight against me, and you have no chance. Hearing such an arrogant tone, each of them didn't know what to say. This person was simply too proud. Now they said too much and didn't use direct weapons to see the difference. Zhang Yang is still very proud of what he said. After all, he now has such an opportunity, and also has the ability to only see their swords and swords, constantly wandering between weapons and lives. I have to say Qian Wanghao, Zhang Yang is still a little bit strong, but for Lan Tuoxiong, as long as he has a weapon, it is enough to commemorate his own ability, but with this treasure protecting him, what else is there? So scared. You guys are just joking here. I told you that you want to fight me, it's just a joke. When they said that, everyone smiled, and no one spoke again. Talking too much is of no use, it will only make them regret it. It's better not to say a word, and believe that the answer will definitely give them the best result. You can try it now. I will let you know what to do next. There are some things that cannot be talked about. Now you can try it out. This person is really very powerful, but what can he do? What can be changed? Chapter 189 Encirclement and Suppression. I only saw that they changed a lot between swords and swords. No one thought about what would happen in the future, but they all knew in their hearts that no one would admit defeat in the future, so they had to make a final decision before failing. You forced me to do this. If you don't do this, I can't make such a decision. If you regret it now, I will definitely spare you a life, but if you don't regret it, then don't blame me for bullying you. Zhang Yang has never been afraid. Okay, don't say any more. If I were afraid, I would have left long ago. The reason why I didn't leave is because I won't be afraid. I also hope that you can understand that there are some things that you have already said. It must be done. This person is really daring, so why should I say so much? Okay, since every one of you has finished speaking, I won't say any more in the future, and now we will officially start. When Lan Tuoxiong finished speaking, he saw a group of people slowly coming up. This is a new group of people. Their ability must be higher than his own. Lan Tuoxiong is really despicable. What do you mean? How can you be so despicable? You changed these people, how could you do such a thing? They originally had the position of changing guards in rotation. If you don't leave, then you will die miserably in a short while, but don't blame me for not warning you, I told you, but you didn't hear. This person is too much, how can he treat himself in such a way? You are too hateful, then I will fight with you. Hearing what he said, I laughed, since I have worked hard, forget it. A group of people rushed up, and the scene was very chaotic. Zhang Yang held his Black Emperor, and kept calling. But so what? There are too many enemies and too few ourselves, and it is impossible to win. You don't have to think about defeating me, it's just a dream. I laughed when I heard them say that, so what if it's just a dream? As long as you dare to achieve it. I tell you, even if I am dreaming today, then you have to pay the price. I will let you die miserably. You AHCB, don't think I am joking here. Even if you can't die, I will kill you, called back. Hearing Lan Tuoxiang's arrogant tone, Zhang Yang, how could such a proud person bear it? Since you have already spoken to this extent, there is nothing I can do. Thinking this way, he quickly used his emperor-slaying sword. Zondi's sword is a very powerful thing, because it has the ability to perceive, so they all call him a magical baby. As long as he owns this treasure, when anyone comes over, the Emperor Zon's sword can automatically send out a powerful force to protect the entire Lanto tribe. Now you have to leave now. I tell you, if you don't leave again, I will let you know what true strength is. Don't say that I haven't said it. I won't leave. I can only leave after taking things away. If I can't take things away, it is impossible to leave. Don't say any more. When will you give me this treasure in your hand? When will I leave? If you don't give it to me, I won't be able to leave here. Don't believe me, let's wait and see. Lan Tuoxiang had nothing to say, and quickly sent his treasure to the sky, seeing what Zhang Yang could do. Since your words don't count, don't blame me for being rude. Lan Tuoxiang quickly flashed the treasure in his hand to the sky, only to see the flash of swords, and no one saw anything before they found the weapon in Zhang Yang's hand lying on the ground. I didn't expect you to be so fragile, don't blame me for not counting, it's your own fault. Hearing what the other party said, he nodded his head. Even so, what can he change? As long as he is strong enough, nothing else matters. Well, don't blame me now that you've talked to this extent. Hearing Lan Tuoxiang say this, I don't know why Zhang Yang felt an inexplicable fear in his heart. What is this person going to do? Now you feel that I am here to make trouble for no reason. How is this possible? Hurry up and clean it up. Hearing the other party say this, I smiled and didn't speak, because what's the use of talking too much? Lan Tuoxiang's patience was being wiped out bit by bit. This person is simply making trouble out of no reason. How could he do such a thing? Is he going crazy? You will die miserably. If you don't leave, everyone around you will die. It is impossible for you to come back to counterattack in the future. I am giving you advice as a leader. If you don't listen, then there's nothing I can do about it. Don't think that you are some very magical powers. I tell you that this is impossible. From today onwards, I and your entire clan will be at stake. Hearing what the other party said, I nodded myself. Even so, what can I do? Of course they knew it in their hearts, but there was no way. Since they had chosen to start, there was no way back. Lan Tuoxiang, let me warn you again, if you do these things again, I will let you die miserably. Don't feel that you are very powerful. Okay, don't say any more. This matter is over. I advise you to hurry up and leave. Let the people around him form an encirclement formation with himself, and rushed up quickly, leaving Zhang Yang with nowhere to escape. Zhang Yang smiled, and his tone was full of disdain and sarcasm. He was not afraid at all of what this group of people wanted to do. Of course they won't be afraid anymore, and Zhang Yang's ability is very small. Seeing the tragic death of the people around him one by one, Lanto couldn't bear it. But Zhang Yang now knew in his heart that it would be very difficult to attack again at this time. But thinking that these people want to invade their territory, this is impossible. Even if they give up their own lives, they will have to pay the due price. I don't care what you do next, but I tell you, if you continue like this, I will definitely let you die a miserable death. Lan Tuoxiang's strong people cheered, because they will definitely win this war. Although Zhang Yang still wants to attack, he has no strength, just like someone said. If you attack again and again, you will eventually it will consume your own ability, which is a very unwise choice. Chapter 190 ending. Unconvinced, he wanted to charge again, so he waved the weapon in his hand and rushed down quickly, piercing Lan Tuoxiang's heart. This time, the man must be killed. Fortunately, Lan Tuoxiang had already felt that it was not the same as last time. He was shocked, but he still blocked it. Why do you always want to hurt me? If that's the case, don't blame me for being rude. I thought about giving you a chance, but you violated my rights again and again. Don't blame me. Hearing what they said, he smiled. Why do I do such a thing? Don't you know? Don't always think that you are very powerful. This is impossible. How powerful you are, you know very well in your heart. Hearing what the other party said, he shook his head helplessly. In this case, Lan Tuoxiang would not be merciful, and quickly waved the weapon in his hand, directly killing this person with one blow. He was lying on the ground very miserable, seeing that the weapon in his hand had disappeared. He had no other way but to escape, and he was in a hurry when he escaped. I didn't even notice that my clothes were torn, which is really a very embarrassing thing. Are you thinking of regretting it now? I tell you it's impossible. You want to escape now, and you don't have so many choices. I gave you a chance just now, but you didn't leave. If you die in here, it has nothing to do with others, you should be very clear in your heart. Lan Tuoxiang said so and quickly waved the weapon in his hand, wanting to let this person die here. But no one thought that Zhang Yang would disappear in place as quickly as if he could teleport at this time. But no one can predict what will happen in the end. He has never learned teleportation, that is, someone rescued him, and this person may be his enemy. Someone once said that the enemy of an enemy is a friend, and that being the case, this person will definitely be clear again, so he must do a good job of prevention, and he must not let others invade his territory, let alone let them take away his territory. thing. If you want to hurt our entire clan, it's just a dream. It's impossible for you to see him in the slightest if I'm here. Patriarch, you are too mighty. Lan Tuoxiong had just finished saying these words when he heard a reserve patriarch behind him. Of course, after saying these words, there was also a lot of admiration in his eyes. Don't say any more. I know what you want to express. Don't worry, as long as I'm here, I won't let anyone hurt us, and I won't let them trample on our home, which is the habitat where we live together day and night. Whoever comes to violate it is not allowed. Hearing them say that, everyone ordered. I believe that Lan Tuoxiong will lead them to open up new worlds, and at the same time protect their new territories. Patriarch, I think the most important thing we should do now is to send people to obey. We can't go on like this here, or we will be too passive as if we were being slaughtered. This is indeed the case. No one thought that such a thing would happen, but it should be changed now, and I can't stick to it again and again, thinking about myself like this, then shook my head. I know what you're thinking, but don't worry, as long as I'm here, nothing will happen, because I'm your protector. I have to admit that Lan Tuoxiong is really handsome. But we must keep one thing in mind. Since Zhang Yang can escape, it proves that someone took him away. Based on who this person is, I believe you and I understand very well. He is probably the one who hurt our people, so everyone must cheer up. We are now starting to build a protective wall. When I heard what they said, I smiled, and there was nothing more to say. Because talking too much is useless. It's better not to say a word, it's the most comfortable way to come. I don't care what you do, because you know that there are many things that must change, and since you have chosen to persevere, don't give up. Of course they know, and this is the belief in their hearts, no matter what, they will definitely stick to it, this is the most important thing. 0. Seeking flowers. You are really great, we are starting to go back now, the injured must protect themselves and repair their bodies, and there must be no accidents. Everyone nodded when they heard it. It doesn't matter what will happen for a while, but they must persist now and build the place they want to change. Okay, now let's start assigning people. We must build this place well, hide some assassination organs, and activate the organs when someone wants to invade, so that they can die outside. This is indeed a good plan, because when they start to build the tunnel, they can also escape, even if something very dangerous happens, they can get away. 0. Okay, Patriarch, we will follow your arrangement. The group of them is still very obedient. Lan Tuoxiong nodded, and then began to arrange this matter, which must be well prepared. All of you listen to me and don't worry about other things, understand? He nodded himself and didn't speak. Don't worry, we will definitely listen to you, and then you can arrange whatever you want. Because there is a boss here, there must be a second child and a third child. It's like the stubbornness in each of them now is different. If it is not changed, it will be very powerful, and who will come to attack next time? It's still unclear how capable the attackers are, let alone this one, they can only persist and persist. If you are tired, just tell me and I will replace you, but if you are not tired, please persevere, because someone will attack our territory again, only after we hold on here, to be able to break new ground. Everyone is very clear in their hearts that this is a very glorious and sacred mission. They must choose to persist, because they must be strong and cannot let anyone bully them. Don't worry, we will persevere. This is the mission of each of us, and everyone must do it. Chapter 191 Perfection. When I saw everyone working so hard, I couldn't help laughing in my heart. Lan Tuoxiong was still very satisfied with their current rhythm. After all, only in this way can they regain their lives and find the strength to live. Otherwise, everyone will pay a heavy price. After all, they also have a lot of things to do now, so thinking about it this way is full of energy in their hearts. Everyone, we must change. If we don't change, then each of us will be very passive. You also know what I mean by saying this now, so I hope you can understand my feelings. My ability is to protect you still have this land. Everyone nodded. Of course they knew that Lan Tuoxiong was under a lot of pressure, but they had to change. There is no need to do anything else. Thinking about 387 feels very painful, because there are still many things that cannot be changed, otherwise they really don't know what to do now. Now that this process is very tiring, there is no other way. This is their own choice. Even if it is painful, they must persevere. Come on, I'll come over to help you in a while, as long as we are united, many things can go on. The people in the clan felt very excited after hearing this, and they knew that their boss must be the best. Okay, one person spoke, and thousands of people echoed. Thinking of this, everyone is like a flower in their hearts, very happy and happy. Although building the fence is a very tiring thing, they are very happy as long as they can do it. No matter what the result will be in a while, they will work hard to make the wall bloom. Only in this way can they continue to do it, and they are very happy when they think about it. Take this moment and yell at them all. Everyone, as long as we succeed this time, I will give you whatever you want next, do you understand what I mean? The group of people behind nodded anxiously. You must know that this is a request they have dreamed of. If you can really ask for it and get it, this is simply a very happy thing. Just think about it and feel very happy, each of them will be very happy. No matter what they will do in the future, they must persist now. Just think about it and they all know that no matter when others are invading in the future, they will be able to grit their teeth and persevere. This is what they think in their hearts. No matter what, they must persist. Boss, what should we do now? You know that the mud is no longer enough, should we continue? Hearing what they said, I smiled, and of course I have to continue. Don't worry, as long as I'm here, everything can change. Hearing what they said, he nodded. No matter what happens in the future, they must do the basic work now. Okay, since you all said that, we must persevere. As long as we work hard in one direction, there will be results. When I heard them say that, I laughed. Of course it is possible. Okay, we have to change now. Don't worry, nothing will happen as long as I'm here, and if others want to invade, it's also impossible. The reason why they worked so hard to change it was to make a big change in all of this, because everyone knew very well that if all of this was not changed, then no one would be able to bear the consequences. Okay, let's continue now. You should all understand what I mean by the thought in our hearts. In this case, let's hurry up and start. When I thought of this, I nodded and didn't speak, because I knew very well in my heart that it was useless to say some things by myself. Seeing them working so hard and working hard for the future life, I nodded. After all, the power of the Dark Emperor is not hidden. At this time, I heard Lan Tuoxiong say to them, "Okay, everyone, come and have a rest first. Listen to my arrangement. We are going to do a very important thing now, and that is to build a house for our baby. I also know that without this treasure, we might be dead by now, so I hope everyone can understand my thoughts. I really didn't expect that since you can be so united now, as long as you rest assured, we will be able to break through more places in the future. It's a lunatic, but now I can see that I have made a big change now. Everyone has a beam of light in their hearts, as long as they build this place well now, they can have a good rest." Thinking of this, everyone is very happy. Okay, don't talk about it, just listen to my arrangement now. We are going to cultivate a very powerful place now. Can you understand 4.4? No one else can come in here. If they come in, our treasures may be hurt. I smiled and didn't speak. If this is the case, it would be great. Of course I understand, but now I have to do another thing, that is, before that, I must first make sure whether this place is safe, and if someone wants to attack, I must eliminate all dangers. Hearing what he said, I smiled. It seems that I still need to do all this by myself. Okay, I'll arrange it in a while. You guys go to rest for a while now, and listen to my orders. Now that Lan Tuoxiong has already said so, they must all retreat now to defend their territory, and other things are secondary. They also know that the treasure of the Black Emperor is actually terrifying when it is practical. No one thought that the man would be crazy to use such a skill. This is indeed the case. Lan Tuoxiong's ability is worthy of trust and affirmation. After all, when Zhang Yang came over, Lan Tuoxiong didn't flinch at a word. But if you want to cultivate such a place, it is not very simple. Patriarch, we believe in you. As long as you lead us, we believe that we will be able to break through. Thinking like this, he said seriously, Patriarch, where should we start now? But don't worry, as long as I'm here, everything will be changed. No matter what they will do in the future, with Lan Tuoxiong here, they can think of very happy things in their hearts. This is the most important. They nodded. It was true. 192nd chapter. Tidy up the way. Okay, we're leaving now, but is there anything else we need to do here? Because the road has been repaired almost now, if you want to escape, it is also possible, but there are still some doubts that need to be changed by yourself. I believe that Zhang Yang will come again for the second time. Don't worry, if Zhang Yang comes again, we will definitely kill him. Lan Tuoxiong knew very well in his heart that if Zhang Yang came again next time, it would not be so simple, because the person who was rescued this time would definitely launch a big attack. The most important thing is that the person who rescued Zhang Yang was a mysterious person, and I couldn't find it. Once such a character comes out, it will be very scary, and all these hidden dangers must be eliminated before danger occurs. Although I don't understand what you are thinking, but I know very well in my heart that if you keep doing this, I will definitely kill you. I laughed. 07. I know what you are thinking, but don't worry, as long as I am here, I will lead you to open up new territories, and at the same time let you do more things. As long as you guard this land well now, we will go to develop another place. In fact, they are like an invader, constantly attacking and developing. Okay, don't worry, we must have a solution. Hearing what they said, everyone was high-spirited and full of pride. Only with such troops, will there be further obviousness. Everyone, don't think so. Hurry up and start working now. We can only go to another place after we protect this place. Otherwise, all this will be for nothing. By then, Zhang Yang will be able to attack every minute and every second. We break through. What Lan Tuoxiong said is right. After all, their current abilities are still very weak, and the most important thing is that Lan Tuoxiong actually doesn't know much, and he doesn't know how to be a real white-collar worker, so this is why it's what they're afraid of. If there were no treasures, then their leader would definitely be attacked. In fact, Zhang Yang did not go far, but went to a remote place. You need to practice well here, because after being attacked by that weapon, your body has already suffered a lot of trauma, but you don't know who this mysterious person is. Is he going to occupy these places like himself? When Zhang Yang woke up and saw this mysterious person in front of him, he shook his head helplessly. Do you know this person? I kept thinking back in all my minds, and found that I didn't seem to know this person. Who are you? I don't seem to know you. We have no reason. Why did you save me? But I am still very grateful to you. I only saw that mysterious man smiled. The reason why I saved this fool is still useful, because the Black Emperor in his hand is still very useful to me. I really didn't expect you to say such a thing, but now you just need to do what I say, and other things don't have much to do with you. Zhang Yang didn't know what this person was going to do, but he nodded anyway, since his abilities were still limited after all. Brother, what are you going to do? Let me tell you, it's impossible for you to take my weapon. The mysterious man smiled disdainfully. It has nothing to do with him whether he holds the weapon in his hand or not. This man has no right to speak. Okay, don't talk about it anymore. This matter is useless to you. You just need to know that you are very weak now. You just need to recover from your illness. Let me handle other things. This feeling of being taken away is very uncomfortable. Who the hell are you? Don't forget that I'm going to invade the land of the Lanto clan. You can't mess around here. What you say is nonsense. I have to say that this person is quite good at using words. Are you highly educated, and you still speak in the same way, but what can this be? Your own ability is limited, so you can't blame others, but Song Neng blames himself for being stupid. What does this person mean? I am not particularly stupid, I can only say that I was deceived by them. What do you mean by talking like that? You're just too much. Hearing him say that, he laughed. It doesn't matter what I mean. You just need to know that there are some things that cannot be changed. If you keep regretting the past, there is no way to change it yourself. Zhang Yang smiled. Is his Dark Emperor going to give in like this? Zhang Yang shook his head. He really can't do more. This is really terrible. They are all a bunch of things. Whether I'm dreaming or not has nothing to do with you. You just need to know that you have to give this thing to me now, because if you put the Black Emperor in your hands again, you will simply delay things here. Even if he couldn't easily seize the land of the Lanto tribe, he would never release his treasures. From the beginning to the end, he didn't feel that he had delayed 320. He was really angry. Are you going to fight yourself? What is this for? Why do you know that you are afraid now? It's too early for me to tell you. Didn't you say that you are very powerful? Then I will give you the weapon now, and you can do whatever you want. I want to tell you that without my call, the Black Emperor would not have woken up. What do you mean? I tell you, if you continue like this, I will kill you. At this time, Zhang Yang found that his treasure had been taken away by him. This man was really too much. How could it be possible that I would give him my baby? It was like dreaming here. Who the hell are you? Why are you doing these things? This is indeed the case. The Black Emperor is very cognizant of the master. If he recognizes one, he can only receive another person after the master abandons him. Knowing that one's own ability is not enough, it is really terrible. But at this time, all the people from another clan came. I smiled, but didn't say anything. Is this person robbing me of my weapon here? This is an impossible thing. This mysterious person is simply dreaming here. Of course I know what your goal is now, but don't worry, as long as you give me this weapon, I can do whatever you want. Chapter 193. No results. I can give this to you, but don't forget, if you keep going like this, it will be too much. The mysterious man smiled. He only needed the Black Emperor and nothing else. Okay, don't say any more. There are not many things I want to do now. Just give me you, the Dark Emperor, and let me handle the other things, and I will take care of you. Of course, it has been a long time since I have experienced such a thing, and I am still very moved when I hear others say that. Brother, since you have said so, then I can agree. Hearing him say that, I laughed out loud. When I saw these weapons, I couldn't help laughing in my heart. No matter what happens in a while, I must hide now, because my ability is very weak now, and my skill is very little. Now, he just needs to let this man know what his true strength is. You don't have to be afraid. With me here, I will definitely protect you well, and my strength is very strong. You should trust me. Zhang Yang didn't know if it was true or not, but this tribe was very scary. Since you have said so, then I will transfer the Black Emperor to your hands, and I will wake him up immediately. Saying so, he began to recite the mantra silently, slowly awakening this thing. This is the most important thing, because of many things, I have to transfer everything now. Maybe I can't do it now, but when I saw how proficient they used it, I instantly understood that there are some things I should do. I hope you can treat my baby well, because many times I really don't think what you will do. Hearing what he said, he nodded himself. You can just say what you want, after all, there are some things that I can't change. He nodded himself, because there was nothing to say. Thinking of this, he nodded immediately. Seeing this group of people, Wuyong got closer and closer to him, and everyone felt a little scared. What the hell is this group of things? Don't be afraid, with me here, everything can be changed. Although I don't know where the courage of this mysterious person came from, I still choose to believe it. After all, I have nothing else to do, so I can only listen quietly. After seeing that wretched person coming, he made himself feel a little scary with such viciousness. Anyway, you must change now. When I heard him say that, I smiled. How could such a thing happen? Although I don't know why you came here to attack, but I know very well in my heart that if you want the Black Emperor in my hands, it is impossible. If you don't believe me, you can just wait and see. Is this a joke? I just want a Black Emperor. What does it have to do with them? Since you have said so, don't blame me for being rude. Hearing him say that, I laughed out loud. Don't worry, if I fight with you, you will definitely lose miserably, because I have the Shangfang sword in my hand. It is said that this Shangfang sword is infinitely powerful, but I never expected it to fall into the hands of this person. You are really despicable. Why did Wu have a treasure? Why did you say that? You must know that there is a rule here, because if there is a treasure in your body, you must report it. If you don't report it, you will be said to be life imprisonment or other sentences, so you must change it. Don't say these things here, because I know very well in my heart that you are not worthy of this weapon at all right now. Guang Zhengranu is still very rampant. As a leader, if he can't subdue a weapon, he is simply too humble, and he has no ability to persuade them. I warn you, I must get this weapon today. You don't need to struggle needlessly. If you think you have the ability, you can fight with me. This person is really insolent. Why should a woman be so arrogant? Do you really think you are a powerful thing? Let me tell you, today I will let you see what it means to be truly powerful. Although I didn't hit women before, I will make an exception today. You'd better make an exception as soon as possible. I really didn't expect that you could still say such a thing. It's just wishful thinking. What was the reason for you to climb Shanwei back then? Who gave you such courage? Didn't you just step on your wife? That's true, this person was really despicable back then, although Zhang Yang didn't know this mysterious person, Guang Zhenggran did. Guang Zhenggran smiled, how could he not know? You don't have to feel that you are very powerful. Let me tell you, I have kept my name and escaped for so many days all these years. The purpose is for today. Shut up, you worthless thing, how can you say these things? Do you think you can win by yourself? I tell you that it is impossible, and today I will let you know what is the real king. The woman quickly came in front of them and said viciously, now I will let you know what being strong is. This is indeed the case. Thinking this way, I started to chant spells in a panic. Zhang Yang, are you crazy? What are you waiting for here? Hurry up and stop making unnecessary struggles. Hurry up and unblock this, or both of us will die here. The mysterious man couldn't get used to Zhang Yang, and praised his former enemy in front of him. The mysterious man said so, and used his own Black Emperor to attack quickly, but unexpectedly, Zhang Yang didn't unseal himself Li Chenjiao. Shut up, you don't know what happened back then, what right do you have to say these things here? It hurts so much, what is this weapon anyway? The person who should shut up should be you. Today I will avenge him. Let me tell you, the debt you owed back then must be repaid today. The Black Emperor also belongs to me. Zhang Yang was a little anxious, this woman seemed to be very cruel, what was this thing, what had he experienced in the past few days? What the hell is this? Why is it so powerful? Who are you? You are so scary. But it was too late to find out. There is such a great power. A Shangfang sword was thrown, and the two of them were opened. The person who died back then was his little girlfriend. You can read more daily new novels on fictionzone.net. BO Chapter 194 strikes again. I smiled to myself, of course I can't say it, but it's normal to say these words, and there is indeed a way. I don't want to say it either, but there is no other way. This woman is very suitable. You should hurry up and catch her. I have forgotten the password now. In fact, what they have to do is to attack Lan Tuoxiong, and other things are really not important. As for whose hands the Dark Emperor is in, Guang Zhenggran can take a break. How about this? I will make an agreement with you. If the two of us take over the territory held by Lan Tuoxiong, you will give me the Black Emperor. I give you the land. 11. When I heard what he said, I laughed out loud. I am not a fool, how could I agree to such a rude request, and I knew very well what I should do. Don't think that if you say these words, I will believe them. I tell you that this is impossible, because I know very well what kind of woman you are. Despicable, cunning, vicious, just these few terms, it's clearly shown in you. In fact, what they need more now is to attack Lan Tuoxiong's area, because now is the best time 560, but this man who has the heart of a villain and the belly of a gentleman does not believe in himself, this is the most abominable. Zhang Yang, did you hear that? Who is the person you rely on? If you haven't snatched your Black Emperor, then it will be too late for you to regret it. Now I also realize that I seem to be on the wrong team, and I really should bring my things over. I'm sorry, I really didn't expect such a thing to happen, I can be with you, let's attack that area again, we must take the place of Lan Tuoxiong, the land of the Lan Tuo tribe must belong to us. I smiled to myself, I had expected such a result a long time ago, Zhang Yang is just a weed. As long as he is good at using strategies, then this man belongs to him. Even if I have changed a lot, there is no way, because this is the imagination in my heart. Okay, do you realize how vulnerable you are now? Play as soon as you lose, or come with us. The mysterious person is somewhat reluctant, but the current situation seems to not allow him to do such a thing. You are really despicable, how can you do such a thing? I warn you that one day, I will make you regret what you did today. I smiled to myself, that is something that will happen one day, now they are going to attack again, and attack strongly, so that Lan Tuoxiong is unable to return to the land of the Bo Lan Tuo tribe, and their victory is in sight. When they teamed up, Lan Tuoxiong knew that he would lose. Okay, listen to me now, don't talk about other things, don't forget, I am the real leader, and you two are brothers. Guang Zhenggran is really very powerful, because he has practiced for a long time and suffered a lot of grievances in the process, which is not something a normal person can bear. I can sort of understand why this man is so worthless. It turns out that you are so powerful. I didn't realize it before. I smiled, Guang Zhenggran didn't say a word, Zhang Yang, such a flattering tone, I could hear it immediately, and knew what his purpose was. When they came to the ground of the Lanto clan again, the whole clan actually built a wall. This is really funny. Lan Tuoxiong, where are you now? Hurry up and come out to me if you have the ability. Don't be a coward. I will come to you today to discuss high prices. I must take the weapon in your hand now. Lan Tuoxiong, who was still tidying up the house, was heartbroken when he heard this. What the hell is this? Didn't they just leave? How Abi will attack again? Find people in a clan, and all stand up. Patriarch, what should we do now? They have come again. Should we rush out? But our current ability is limited. What should we do? Among them, there was a relatively powerful person who was a little flustered. Really don't know what's supposed to happen. Why did they attack so quickly? Don't be afraid. I can solve everything with me. Hearing what Lan Tuoxian said, everyone felt uneasy because they felt that this was a fierce battle. Patriarch, let's get out of here. Yang Tuoxiong was the first to be reluctant when he heard someone retreating. If you want to go, you can go by yourself. If you want to stay here with me, you can stay here. Don't worry, as long as I am still alive, I will protect you well. Even if I want to die, I will protect you. Yours. Hearing what the boss said, none of them dare to leave now, and the pride has been flowing in their hearts all the time. No one will leave. Patriarch, don't worry, we will definitely not leave, we will coexist with you today. Hearing the people around him say this, Lan Tuoxiong felt very warm in his heart, so why should he be afraid? Quickly went out. Seeing the huge crowd of people in front of him, I was really surprised. He was able to mobilize so many people, which is really amazing. I really didn't expect that you were still so powerful, now I understand, but that's fine. Hearing Lan Tuoxiong's words, Guang Zhenggran felt very helpless. He knew himself clearly, so why did he pretend that he didn't know him? What are you doing? I'm here to occupy your place today. After the girl finished speaking so domineeringly, the group of people who interrupted you rushed down, but unexpectedly, Deng Jieshong actually let out his treasure. Don't think that if you come here, I can accept you. I told you that when you left my side, I never said that I would let you come back. It's the same today. If you want to come here, you must accept me. Step on his body. I'm never afraid of myself. If you think you are very capable, then you can continue to say such things, but now you don't seem to have the qualifications. Hurry up and kneel down and beg for mercy. I may let you go. Then behind the back, he grabbed Guang Zhenggran's clothes. I hope this woman doesn't do something she regrets, and this statement will definitely not work. They will definitely not give up this place. Originally, I just wanted to take the treasure in Lan Tuoxiong's hands. Chapter 195 Strong Attack. But now that Lan Tuoxiong is here, I really find it more comfortable to occupy his place. Lan Tuoxiong only smiled disdainfully. You guys are so naive, do you really think that you can have this place if you want it? I tell you that it's impossible, and now I'll let you know what a magic baby is. Lan Tuoxiong knew very well in his heart, and Guang Zhenggran had a heart in his heart, Shang Fang's sword. If the two confront each other, there will definitely be a disastrous defeat. But now I can't worry so much anymore, for the safety of my own collar. It can only make such a decision, even if each of them regrets it in their hearts, there is no way, this is what each of them thinks in their hearts. Although I don't know what you are going to do next, I know very well in my heart that if you want to continue to occupy our place, then you will only have a dead end. If you don't believe me, we can just wait and see. To be honest, Guang Zhenggran really didn't believe that just such a man wanted to occupy his territory. As Guang Zhenggran said, he quickly summoned his Shangfang sword, intending to invade the past. No matter what, he would fight even if he died today. The two of them have been feuding for a long time. If they don't make a break at this time, then there must be no way out after a long time. Guang Zhenggran, I have already told you, if you want to attack for a while now, if I hurt you, don't blame me for not remembering the past. I definitely won't blame him, after all, I am also a ruthless person. Don't worry, even if I die here today, I won't blame you. After all, I'm also ruthless, and it's not like you don't know. Of course, Lan Tuoxian understood very well that this woman is simply a representative of ruthlessness. When Zhang Yang saw the two of them playing tricks here, he was very anxious and hurried up, asking what they were doing here and why they didn't start yet. You have no place to talk here, hurry up and get out of here. Hearing Guang Zhenggran say this, he feels helpless. This woman is too domineering, and it is normal for her to be dumped. Is it not good for you to treat the people around you like this? Guang Zhenggran smiled helplessly, what he did had nothing to do with him. It's impossible for you to protect the ability of the group of people around you. Today I will let you know what true strength is. Hearing what this woman said, Lan Tuoxiong felt that this woman was so funny, how could she have such wordless words? What kind of things you want to do has nothing to do with me. Now that we can fight, I don't want to talk nonsense with you anymore. I feel that you, a woman, really like to make trouble for no reason. What did you say? You never said that to me before, you are waiting to die now. Guang Zhenggran was really angry, how could this man hurt himself with such words? Why should I say this? You know why this mysterious person is by your side. Don't you know why? The mysterious man is just a springboard for him to meet Lan Tuoxiong, why should he misunderstand himself? Don't say it, I really don't know, let me tell you, if you say these words again, I will really follow the steps, and you will definitely have no way to change it by then. Lan Tuoxiong smiled, and he didn't want to change. You can do whatever you want, hurry up and start. We have a wall here, it is impossible for you to invade, and there are many organs that I have told you in advance, as a friendly reminder from our old friends. Quote. Hearing them say that, I laughed out loud. You are really funny. After Guang Zhenggran had finished speaking, he led the group of people around him to charge up, and it was another fierce battle. No one thought that the power of the sword above was so powerful. All I saw was a dazzling light flashing in the sky, and this light was only emitted by Lan Tuoxiong. You should know my strength by now. Today I will let you know what a real weapon is. Strategizing is a basic skill of a person. I believe you should also have it. They came and went in the air and fought continuously in the air like lightning and thunder. This kind of environment and scene is particularly attractive. Seeing Guang Zhenggran fighting with Lan Tuoxiong, the group of people around him did not dare to lag behind, and rushed forward urgently. The two sides must be injured in the battle. 0. Seeking flowers. 0. At this time, Guang Zhenggran suddenly felt a little uncomfortable in his body. He had never experienced such a situation before. Today, when everyone is most critical, how could such a situation happen? How could such a situation happen at this most critical time today? Don't be afraid, let me tell you, today I will let you know what is truly powerful. Haven't you been telling me this word all the time now? Then I will let you know something. 17. Lan Tuoxiong said so, summoned his baby, and waved it in his hand. This is also a new skill that he just unlocked. 0. No one knows what Lan Tuoxiong is mainly doing. Why is he doing some strange movements here? Are you going crazy? Is it because I forced you too hard, so you made some actions that are not in line with ordinary people? Lan Tuoxiong smiled, but didn't speak, because what he had to do required his concentration. Talk to your treasure in your heart, see what your treasure thinks, and whether you want to come out and surrender Guangzheng Ranyu. I only heard my baby say loudly. Don't forget, this is your habitat, this is your territory, why can't you protect it well? It's impossible to let me out. After hearing that his baby was angry, he shook his head helplessly. It seemed that it was impossible for him to seek revenge. Don't worry, we will never let others kiss our place, and no one can take away what belongs to us. After Lan Tuoxiong said this, he glanced at Guangzheng with a serious expression. I really want to let you go today, but time doesn't allow it. This is our habitat. If you want to occupy it, it is impossible. If you occupy this place, what will we develop in the future? They are a group of things that encroach on others, and those who feel that they occupy others are the happiest. They are such a character. No one can change it, and no one wants to change it. 196th chapter Fiasco. The patriarch Lan Tuoxiong led the group of people behind him to quickly attack. No matter how powerful they were, he believed in the strength in his heart. I don't care what you are doing, as long as you come to invade my territory, it is absolutely impossible. I warn you that you want to bully us, this is impossible, it is just a dream. Quickly finish this sentence, and then use the shapeshifter to attack. No matter what the others do, you believe for yourself, as long as you stick to it, they will definitely fail. Hearing each other say such things, everyone has a big shadow in their hearts. What exactly is this person up to? I warn you, if you want to invade our territory at this time, you will die miserably. I will tell you one last time, because the treasure in my hand is, you can't change it. 627. I laughed out loud when I heard the other party say this. After all, I understand that there are some things that only I know best in my heart. If you want to change our minds now, it's absolutely impossible because you will die miserably. I led them here at this time. Zhang Yang has already told me your weakness. If you want to admit defeat at this time, it's okay. I laughed out loud, expressing that it was impossible for me to admit defeat. This was the most impossible thing, and no matter what they said next, it was impossible for me to take the initiative to admit that I had failed. And this man has been oppressing himself, so he must fight for his breath at this time. Although I don't know what you are talking about, but let me tell you, the thing in your hand is nothing compared to my Black Emperor, and you also know that I have the Shangfang sword. To tell the truth, but I have never been afraid, and now we also know that there are some things, we can't let him mess around anymore. You are such a disappointment. What does this mean? When did you let him down? What do you mean? Have I let you down again? Don't forget what you have done. The patriarch Lan Tuoxiong smiled disdainfully. He was just guarding one side of the land and had no other ideas, whether they wanted it or not. I don't care what you want, but I will insist on my own ideas and I will never let you destroy them. You should understand what I mean, and I hope you will stop talking so much nonsense. I laughed out loud when I heard them say that. Since they are fighting here, it is simply a joke. No matter what, they will win. Let's not wait any longer. They are just a bunch of robbers and they are here to invade our place. It's impossible. The problem also thinks so. Even though Zhang Yang has been seriously injured now, it does not mean that he is innocent. It's like when it snows heavily. No snowflake is innocent. This is the same reason. I don't care what you think now, but I must let you know now that we will make a big decision in the future, and I hope you can understand and change it. I laughed myself. Indeed it is. I know what's on your mind, but I can't say anything more now. After saying this, he immediately left here. But at this time, a woman next to Zhang Yang quickly attacked. How can they take their own words as deaf ears? This is simply the rhythm of courting death. Don't they all feel scared when they are so powerful? Let me tell you, don't always think that I won't be afraid of you. I tell you that it's impossible. As long as I'm here, you don't have to think about leaving here alive. Laugh at yourself, are you kidding me? You are simply joking with me here. What I do has nothing to do with you. I hope you can understand. I smiled and didn't speak. Because the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong knew very well in his heart that he was actually very nervous to deal with this woman. After all, he knew the weakness of this woman in his heart, but he just didn't want to say it. If you want to fight with me, let me tell you, you are just going to die, because you know that I know you very well. Why do you still make such a decision? I advise you to hurry up and catch you, or take you get out of here so the two of us won't be embarrassed. I won't be embarrassed at all now, as long as I can defeat this man. Such things are easy to talk about. Okay, don't say any more. I never thought you would say such things to me. Hearing what the other party said, I laughed out loud. The patriarch Lan Tuoxiong now has his own responsibilities and obligations, and he must fulfill them. Okay, don't say that again. My own physical responsibilities and obligations are beyond your ability to change. When he said that, he smiled. But nothing was spoken. Okay, I really don't know what to say, but there are some things that should be settled now. I also know what you think in your heart. If this is the case, there is no need for us to continue to entangle. The patriarch Lan Tuoxiong took out his treasure as he said so. You must know that if you are not forced, you will not be able to take this thing out. Even if you have built a city, you will definitely not be able to let such a thing happen. I really didn't expect that you would come over and bully my territory again and again. Do you think I'm easy to bully? This is indeed the case, because the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong seems to be too weak, so many people want to come and occupy this place. After all, this is a golden treasure. Don't come near me anymore, because you will die miserably too. When I knew what they said, I smiled. Whether it's the answer, we don't know. The people behind are already 4.3 ready to move. Although this woman is very bad, she is also very good looking. People like them must want to accept a woman very much. Let's start earlier. Stop moaning. You are really hateful. You want to invade other people's place. What do you think? In fact, this treasure was snatched from Wushang Ran, but they didn't know it, and Wushang never thought of telling it. He smiled at me disdainfully, but he didn't say anything. After all, he said too much now, and this group of people would definitely not believe him. It's better not to say anything, so that they may feel that they have a little praise. After all, they won't feel that they are here to ask for pity. I really didn't expect you people to be so hateful. Do you think I'm easy to bully? Chapter 197. Damn. There is actually a reason for Supreme Ran to say these words. There are indeed some hateful people in these groups who dare to say such things to themselves. Okay, don't pretend to be pitiful here. The reason why I say this is because of you. If it is not because you are asking for trouble here, I would not say these words. But now they can't drag it on any longer. These things are very troublesome and must be resolved immediately. Okay, let's get started. Don't waste time here. Zhang Yang has already said it once. Since you have nothing to do, don't blame you for bringing shame on yourself. The patriarch, Lan Tuoxiong, was a bit arrogant when he spoke. After all, he had this ability, and speaking these words made him feel very comfortable. Why didn't he say it? Only seeing this Supreme Ran laughed out loud. I feel that this man in front of me is really too crazy. I never noticed it before, but now I am really surprised. But it is precisely because of this that I want to conquer him in my heart. For a while, you may lose miserably in 07, but let me tell you, don't think that you will fail. After all, there is still a gap in ability between the two of us. You were not good before, and you are not good now. Quote. This woman is really hateful, she just likes to have a mouthful. Now that you've said that, I'll let you know what it means to be truly terrifying and powerful. Saying so, he took out the treasure and began to fight this woman shoulder to shoulder. The group of people behind them backed up again and again. After all, the two of them were in a strong duel. If the loser would definitely suffer a disastrous defeat, the winner would also be scarred. I really don't know why the two of them did such a thing. Is it really because of the emotional discord between the two people? You guys are going to fall back. Haven't you forgotten that the two of us are so powerful? If you accidentally hurt you, don't blame us. After these people heard it, they immediately played further back. There was still some distance, but now there is no distance at all, because they are very dangerous now. Boss, we are already fine. You can start. Now we can watch a good show. Hearing the people next to him say this, I feel very helpless in my heart. Is this a good show? This is also helpless. Don't worry, I will solve this matter for you right away. From today onwards, I will let you know what the real strong Yamato light is. Let you see what the dazzling light looks like. To be honest, everyone is still a little surprised. I have to say that this group of people is really crazy. When they fight, they are too scary, and they want to retreat when they see it. I really don't know what these people think. Why do they want to fight? Isn't it good to stay in your own world? Why do you have to open up a new world? Is there any benefit? Everyone has what everyone wants in their hearts, but they must now unite the front. Only in this way can they have better choices and persistence when they join forces. I really don't know what you are thinking, but now I believe that each of us has a better choice and persistence in our hearts, and there is also an answer. As long as we have firm beliefs, it will definitely be possible. When I heard them say that, I laughed. But when seeing the two of them dancing in the sky, it was really scary. As long as they looked at it like this, they felt horrible. But there is no way, such a thing must be done. After a group of younger brothers saw it from behind, they backed away again and again. It was really scary. What the hell was going on? How can a woman be so scary? Really shocking. What should we do now? Are we going to get out of here now? You must know that the two of them are really very violent in what they are doing. If any accident happens, no one can be sure, but if they leave now, it is definitely impossible. It is impossible for them to leave. If they don't leave, they can only continue to do so. Thinking of this, everyone laughed. They are still okay. Zhang Yang had already said when he came just now that he must not be allowed to leave alive this time. Everyone has a belief in their hearts, but they must persevere. As long as they win, they will be able to defend this territory. After winning this time, no one will be able to take this place back. As long as they think of this, they are very strong in their hearts, they must persevere, and they must persevere because of this matter. Brothers, cheer for me and hold on to me. No matter what, we must win this time. If we lose, it will be very troublesome in the future, so you have to trust me. It was indeed possible to laugh when I heard him say that. Don't worry, this time we must persevere, we will succeed, we will not change because of anyone's affairs, we must be the best team. Hearing them say this, everyone has a very strong belief in their hearts, and it is true. If it's really like 453 and they can win, then this new world has already been developed and truly belongs to them. Boss, we are really great, this time we must persevere. Together, all Ishan. It is their belief, and now they must persist. Everyone has a belief in their hearts, and they must persist. Moreover, this woman's ability has gradually weakened here, while their ability has gradually increased. This is a belief that can win. Thinking of the biggest attack launched by the Patriarch land to auction here, no matter whether this woman knew her before or not, she must persevere. Okay, let's start doing these things now, see what I mean. In fact, after I said this sentence, I already had an answer in my heart, and they definitely had no way to change it. But it's okay now, they are the best now. Thinking this way, watching a group of people constantly changing their formation in the sky, I couldn't help but smile, showing off my tricks. It's of no use to me. At the same time, I will not be afraid of such skills, and I always feel that these skills are useless at all, they are just some show, and my ability is the best. Chapter 198. In other words. Brothers, don't be intimidated by these ostentatious things. You believe that as long as I'm here, everything can be solved. You have to believe in me. Of course they believed that this was their boss, and only by his side could anything be resolved, and they themselves believed in such things. So no matter what happens next, each of them must strengthen their beliefs and must drive away this group of bad guys. Why do they need others to intervene in the territory they opened up? You are a bunch of bad people. This is our own business. You usually come here to meddle in other people's affairs, so you should be bullied. Knowing what they said, I laughed out loud. What is meant by what I should do, and what I want to do has nothing to do with them. I'm warning you that this territory is the result of our class. You don't interfere here, and don't meddle in your own business here. If you continue like this, I will drive you away. Let the other party say this. Everyone has made a very strong belief, and this person must regret it today. Although I don't know what beliefs and persistence you have here, but let me tell you, as long as I am here, you don't have to think that this place belongs to me, and the treasure in your hand also belongs to me of. Then when he heard him say that, he couldn't help laughing. Are you joking with yourself? This weapon can only belong to oneself, and no one can hold it. Can you stop joking with me? This thing belongs to me, it is impossible for you to take it away, unless it is a dream. I will tell you one last time, no matter what happens today, you must follow. I know, let me apologize, if you can't do it, then you can only want to die. I laughed out loud when I heard him say that. What I do has nothing to do with him. Now I have to make an answer. I warn you, no matter what happens today, I must make you regret it now. From now on, the two of us will return to the mountains, and the grass will return to the grass. Whatever you do has nothing to do with you. You should understand what I mean. Quote. I laughed out loud. Of course I understand. No matter what, this woman will die next, because if he doesn't die, he will definitely make a comeback, and Zhang Yang is the same. Of course I know what each of you thinks, but now I tell you, no matter what, we must unite. When they heard what he said, everyone was very serious. They didn't know what the Patriarch Lanto Shangjia ordered them to do, but they were still very nervous. Boss, you can tell me anything, don't worry, as long as it can protect the safety of our territory, I am very willing to do anything. When I heard them say that, I laughed out loud. As long as the people around you are willing to believe in yourself, all this is enough, and other things are not the most important. Supreme Ran, let me ask you one last time, do you want to leave here? If you don't, then don't blame me for what happens next. This is your own choice, but don't blame me. I smiled. Of course I wouldn't blame him, and this is what I thought in my heart. How could I blame him? Don't worry, this is my own decision. I won't blame you. This is all my own thoughts. What's more, the things in your hands belong to me, and your territory also belongs to me. Everything around me belongs to me. Have you forgotten what the two of us did before? To hear this woman say those words. I really don't know what you have done. I will tell you one thing now. I have my own things to do now. If you don't leave, you will die here. In fact, it is not easy for me to be able to achieve this level now, but this woman doesn't appreciate it. All I could hear was a disdainful smile from the woman. Okay, don't talk about it anymore. I know about this matter. You can do whatever you want. Just do it. Don't take my feelings into consideration, but you have to believe in you. You just can't beat me. I laughed out loud when he said that. How is it possible? I have an answer to this matter in my heart. If he said so much, it would be of no use at all. You don't need to talk nonsense anymore. let's hurry up and start, I don't seem to be a vegetarian. Now that this person has already said that, there is no need for me to say too much, it seems thankless, what is the use of saying so much? Now that you've said that, what else can I say? After saying these words, he immediately began to move his own hands. Okay, we can do it now. The people around you have already retreated, but I think we don't have too much trouble starting together, because you know very well what the people around you are capable of. I don't want to say too much, because useless. I nodded myself, that was indeed the case, because it was useless, and I didn't need to say it. Okay, you've said that, I definitely agree, you can start now. Supreme Ran said so, and then began to wave the weapon in his hand. No matter what, he must let this person die miserably today. Only in this way can he understand what their thoughts are. I found him with great difficulty, so I can't simply relax him. Even if I will die here, I will die here, but I still have to persevere. Do you finally feel that all of my things can make you regret it now? I tell you that all of this is over. If you can win, Nuo Wang is good, then it's okay. If you lose, people will laugh big teeth. The patriarch Lanto Shang also believed in his heart that he would never say it. This is his belief in his heart. You don't have to worry about me. What happens to me has something to do with me, not you. You can leave now. It was very scary to hear them say that. This group of people is simply a group of lunatics, why would they do such a thing? Why is it necessary? Everyone backs off. Without my order, no one can make a decision. Zhang Yang rushed forward at this time. Seeing them like this makes me happy. I really didn't expect that one day the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong would be beaten into what he is today, and I was very excited and happy. When thinking of this, everyone nodded seriously. Chapter 199 The Decision in My Heart. The most important thing for them now is to make it clear to Supreme Ran, and to repel or completely conquer Supreme Ran, this woman is still somewhat powerful. If you don't say these words clearly at this time, it will have a very bad influence on them. In order to make greater choices and retreats in the future, they can only do such things. When he saw the menacing approach of Supreme Ran, the man sighed helplessly. He was always so competitive, and he really didn't know what to say. What's more, I have no way to change this kind of thinking at all, and then what I do has nothing to do with myself. But in order to protect his own territory, he could only completely repel Supreme Zai. Then when thinking like this, he swung the weapon in his hand quickly and threw his own move, but there was no way, who asked him to take the initiative. Now thinking about it this way, I started to use a year to gather all my internal strength and inject it into my own weapons, but I didn't have to do it myself. Only at this time did I realize that the weapon has its own 630 idea, which is too powerful and powerful. The patriarch Lan Tuoxiong didn't need to use the Emperor Zhangjian at all, and he had already solved everything. He had never seen this before, and he was still very surprised when he saw it now. I have never seen the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong like this. Boss, what's going on here? Why haven't we seen it before? Is there any accident? He shook his head, expressing that he was not very clear in his heart. I'm not very clear. Otherwise, let's take a look here for a while. After a while, there will be an answer. You don't have to worry too much. I nodded my head and I am really not in a hurry, because there are some things that I can't understand at all, so what's the use of being anxious? I can only wait here quietly. I only saw that Supreme Ran was getting more and more painful, and I didn't know what happened, why this woman suddenly became like this, and the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong felt inexplicably distressed. Constantly emphasizing that I must feel distressed, this is the woman's own fault, what does the path I chose AHBJ have to do with myself? Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong, you are really disgusting. Since you have treated me in this way, I tell you that one day I will make you regret it when I come back. I don't know what happened at all, but Zhang Yang is dead at this time. It may be that after the Zondi sword exploded with energy just now, it injured Supreme Ran and Zhang Yang. One thing I have to do now is to go over to see how Chao Yang's body is. If he dies, the flesh and blood in his body can still be used. Wait for me here for a while. I'll go over and have a look. If something happens, you must escape in time. You must know that the Zondi sword is very powerful when it is angry. No one can stop it. You should understand me. Meaning, so let's hurry up now. Everyone nodded when they said that. But they were all very excited. It is still very powerful to be able to do such a thing. After all, it is not easy to do such a thing to the level it is today. When thinking like this, everyone quickly went to attack, and the idea was very excited. This was the first time they did such a thing. It's really not easy. When the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong wanted to leave at this time, he found that there were still some difficulties. After all, some abilities here were organized by themselves, but there was no way, they had to persist. Thoughts are very helpless. What should we do now? At this moment, Supreme Ran is constantly fighting with the Zondi sword. You must know that this is the most vulnerable time. If the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong goes up to attack Supreme Ran at this time, this woman will definitely be vulnerable, fell to the ground. Wait for me now, I'll go over and have a look. There are some things you don't need to know now, and I will tell you later. Hearing that the boss had said this before, he was not talking, because what the boss said was the most important, and they could only wait here. Boss, if there is anything, please inform us in time, absolutely no delay. The patriarch Lanto Shang certainly understood in his heart that he and this group of people belonged to a family, they formed a poison here, and they had to be united to win. Okay, if I have anything in the past, I will definitely tell you, and you will definitely understand, do you know what I mean? I laughed out loud, of course I understood, I couldn't say anything more. Okay. I know what you mean, let's start now, if you have something to do, you must escape in time, don't know that this place is still very dangerous, I don't want you to be in danger like me, I am protecting you of. After the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong said these words, he felt very helpless afterwards, because he knew very well in his heart that they would never believe him, even though he hadn't conquered all these things yet. Boss, don't worry, we certainly know what you are talking about, and if something unexpected happens, we will definitely run away as soon as possible. They danced with swords, constantly confronting each other in the air. To be honest, the abilities of the two of them are still very powerful, but they didn't expect that Supreme would do such a thing again, and the weapons in Supreme Ran's hands were also very powerful. Constantly touch the body of Supreme Ran. The patriarch Lan Tuoxiong had already tried his best at this time, never thought that one day he would be so tired from fighting, it was just an old thing. The patriarch Lan Tuoxiong is a little tired now, so he hopes that Supreme Ran will give up as soon as possible. If you don't give up, you will die immediately. You have to know that Zondijian is very angry now. You violated his territory. Don't you think this is too much for you? Of course I know that it is a little too much, but there is no way, this is what I want. Okay. Don't say any more, all this is really helpless, this is what I want, and it has nothing to do with you. Before the man could speak, he heard Supreme Ran continue to say. If you regret it now, then don't talk anymore, because all this is my own choice, and it has nothing to do with you. Just let it go. Chapter 200 belongs to them. In this new world, I have to find a way to develop something that belongs to me. Even though there are many difficulties and obstacles ahead, I have to do it myself. Because all of this is what I want, no one can stop me, even if someone wants to stop me, it is impossible. Thinking about it, I feel very surprised. They haven't done such a thing for a long time. Now that there is such a big change suddenly, they must be surprised in their hearts. No one knows what will happen in the future, but now each of them is still very stubborn in their hearts, and only by persevering can they think of a better place. If not done, all this is very dangerous and very helpless. Thinking about it now, everyone is very embarrassed, but Supreme Ran is also very tired now, and there are many scars on his body, these weapons are too sharp, and every time they hurt themselves, they spare no room for it. But no matter what, the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong must guard this place, even if he dies. It may be very tiring if this continues, but they all know very well in their hearts that this is something that each of them must insist on, even if they are tired, so what? This is what they want, so nothing else needs to be changed. It's useless to change it today, it's better not to say anything, and it's enough to believe in your own choice. Since you don't admit defeat, then don't blame me for being rude. I have already explained all this clearly to you, and it is clear, but if you don't believe me, there is nothing I can do. Of course Supreme Ran didn't believe it, he finally found the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong. In fact, all this was just to make this man pay attention to him, but why this man didn't understand what was in his heart, he had to talk to himself every time as a couple. It's really disgusting, and I have no way to forgive. It's useless to think so much, it's better not to think about anything now. I really can't think of what you can do now, because there are many things, and each of us has an answer in our hearts now. What's the use of you talking so much? I only hope that you can hurry up and let the place out now. Quote. The patriarch Lan Tuoxiong said these words, in fact, he hoped that this woman could leave here alive, after all, this woman was also a friend who had met before. Only to see Supreme Ran disdainfully smiled. Are you joking with me? Want me to take the initiative to make this place out, or let me take the initiative to leave here, do you know? How much effort I have spent doing all this, you don't know anything, I only know to tell me here, it is simply hateful. Of course I don't know, but this woman was out of breath when she said these words, which shows that this woman is very tired. At this time, the Emperor Zhang was not controlled by the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong, and rushed out quickly. Only to sprint to the heart of Supreme Ran. This thing is really very powerful. Seeing that he was already tired, he couldn't help but rushed up. When Wu Shang didn't pay attention, he quickly inserted the weapon in his hand, and then crushed it. Seeing this woman in pain, the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong couldn't bear it, but he had no choice but to persevere. All of this is your own choice, you can't blame me, you know, if there is an afterlife, I hope you can be a good person and stop doing these things. After explaining these words, he continued to sprint, but at this moment, this woman, resisting the huge pain in her heart, rushed over quickly and fell to the ground instantly. This is an act that hastened her death. What happened to this woman? Could it be that she is crazy? How could she make such a decision? At the beginning, I wanted her to die simply, without such pain. Are you crazy? Do you know how terrible it is to do this? I could have wanted him to live at first, but now it's impossible for him to live. Supreme then smiled and glanced at the patriarch Lan Tuoxiong. Isn't this the answer you want? I'm very tired now, and I think I'm going to fall asleep soon, but I'm still very helpless if I don't succeed. I will definitely want to fight you again if I have a chance in the future. After finishing speaking, he closed his eyes. Seeing this, Supreme Ran unexpectedly fell into a deep sleep in silence. 0. Seeking flowers. 0. When Zhang Yang and others saw this situation, they also knew that they had no choice but to flee. That mysterious man was even more helpless, since the Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong had already succeeded, and now he was playing the clown here, so there was no need for him. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong, let me tell you that this territory is now yours. After all, 2 people have died. I don't need to fight with you anymore, but if you are opening up new territories, we must fight to the end. I laughed out loud. This person would come here to make trouble every time I got a new territory, but I didn't expect to come here after finding Wusheng this time. 0. You are simply too hateful. I tell you today, if you do such a thing in the future, I will definitely make your life worse than death, and don't feel that doing this is very happy. It is impossible, for you it's a kind of suffering. The mysterious man laughed loudly. It doesn't really matter whether it is suffering or not. As long as you can feel happy. Since you have said that, I can't say anything more. As long as you feel happy, I won't say a word about other things, that's enough. I smiled and said nothing. Now I know very well that this piece of territory already belongs to others, and there is no need to do other things. Okay, you can leave here now. We are going to clean up this place, completely belong to us, and put up our signboard. When hearing what he said, everyone was very excited. Unexpectedly, one day, there will be a place that can truly belong to them, which is a kind of destination for this group of people. Boss, we are really amazing. We really didn't expect to be able to do it. You are amazing. We admire you more and more. The Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong smiled and said nothing. Of course he knew that if he failed this time, this group of people might not say such a thing, but there is no need, why should he care about it later? Okay, everyone, stop talking, let's go back quickly. Chapter 201 Protection Success. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong is very happy to see that great changes have taken place here. It seems that everything has basically stabilized. I really didn't expect to be able to protect success. To be honest, I am still very excited. Every time I think of this, I feel very excited. Only in this way can my ability be improved. But no matter what, all of this has changed a lot now, and only by persisting can we continue to change, otherwise all this will be wasted. Every time I think of this place, I have a very strong belief in my heart, that is, I must protect this piece of territory around me, as well as the group of people around me. Although I am not very strong, I must protect it well. This is my responsibility and obligation. Thinking of this, I feel very excited in my heart. 583. I really don't know what to say, but I am still in a very good mood now. As long as I can make this territory my own, then other things are not particularly important. Sometimes I have to make it clear to my own people. Everyone, we will hold a meeting tonight. This territory has completely belonged to our clan. I hope to send a few stronger men to guard it here in the future, so we will vote to decide it tonight. In fact, some of them are very contradictory. If they can really decide, then they will be able to see the rest of their lives, that is, guarding this territory. Although it is glorious, it is also boring. So many people are willing to follow the patriarch to lay down another territory. Only in this way can they demonstrate their existence value, but they don't know what to say. After hearing this, everyone, participate on time tonight. If you don't participate, we will abstain. In fact, everyone is very happy. At this time, they really should celebrate, because only in this way can each of them know that they can make progress and make changes. Boss, we are so powerful, why can we protect our territory so easily? In fact, the reason why they were able to protect well this time was because many people knew that they wanted to protect their own place. Friend. Knowing a lot of his weaknesses, that's why he was able to do this. Although I don't know why you guys did such a thing, I'm still very happy now, and there are some things I don't need to say. Hearing what they said, he nodded. I really don't know what to say, but now I am very happy in my heart. If there is a chance in the future, I hope you can continue to accompany me. See you tonight. It is actually very difficult to take down a territory, and it is even more difficult to protect it to this day. So I can't say anything else now, I just feel very happy thinking about it this way. I'll talk about other things later. Time passed quickly, and it was almost night. There was some excitement in that mood. After all, it was the first time for me to attend such a meeting. It never happened before, because every time someone took the initiative to bring up such a thing. It's really great. I really didn't expect that we could do what we are today. It's still very difficult to think about us now. Then after saying that, I immediately thought of all the hard work these days, even though I didn't use Dafa for my desire, but now I have reaped a lot. Patriarch, we are really powerful now. This place has become our own territory again. What should we do now? When I heard a person asking this question, I shook my head helplessly, indicating that I don't know what to do. When he saw a group of them downstairs in Wuyong, he couldn't help but smile. It is only now that I realize that this strength is indeed very powerful. Everyone, I don't know if you have come to the group, let me say something today, and everyone can leave after talking. Of course they know what to say. The Lanto family is still very powerful and capable. It's just that sometimes, it takes some imagination to do it, and it's all very difficult if you don't, and they have to change anyway. You don't need to say any more. I didn't expect this matter to become what it is today. From now on, if there is no way to change it, then I will not be in this position now. I believe everyone can do it today. There's a reason. Some nodded, but others shook their heads. Boss, what are we going to do? Are we going to open up a new territory, or continue here? Although this place belongs to us, we have not insisted on it. This is indeed the case. According to the regulations, if they conquer a territory, they must stick to it for a few years before they can leave. But now the situation has changed greatly. It will never be the same again. Although I don't know what you are thinking, I know that you are afraid of the harm regulations, but please rest assured that as long as I am here, other things will not be a problem. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong said these words, but he was actually a little apprehensive. After all, he had never done such a thing before. Don't worry, we will definitely do this. When I heard them say that, I smiled. But nothing was said. Since you have said this, I have no other choice. I hope you can understand in 4.1 that we need to change to a new territory, and this place must also belong to us. Therefore, when we come here today, we need to find some people to take charge. Everyone knows what their thoughts are, but everyone also knows that if they are responsible at this time, something will definitely go wrong. Boss, I hope you can tell me what we should do. When hearing what he said, everyone smiled. Of course, there are a lot of things to do. Do you still need to tell them yourself? Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong took a serious look at them. Everyone was very disturbed, not knowing what happened and why it was like this all of a sudden. Boss, is there something wrong, or did we say something wrong? Chapter 202 Replacement. Actually no, it's just because I suddenly felt that it would be a little bad to change the venue temporarily. They haven't found a new place to open up yet. If you go out to fight, it is very likely to hurt the opponent, and your force value does not allow you to go out every day. Today I want to tell you a very important thing. You also know that my ability is still limited, but if we leave some people here to stick to it, then we will fix our team and reduce some people who want to develop. The new territory, that is not allowed, so I want to ask, what can you do? Of course they have many ways, that is to change the Lord. But no one dared to speak out about this matter. If it was replaced, there would be a big riot, and no one would think about such a thing. If you have anything to say, you can just say it directly. Don't worry, as long as it is your opinion, I will definitely agree to do it. Everyone smiled when they said that, but didn't speak. To be honest, there are still certain difficulties in doing this. But no matter what, as long as they persevere, they will have a very good light in their hearts, or more choices. After telling this matter, the next substitute person followed the first one to speak. Boss, I think the most important thing for us now is to open up new territories and expand our team. We don't have a lot of weapons yet, and we have to increase them. Hearing what he said, he nodded himself. If it continues to increase, there is still a certain danger, but if it does not increase, then there are many dangers. Although I don't know what you are thinking, but I want to ask, if you really want to increase the thoughts in your heart, it is not impossible, as long as you are willing. Of course I want to increase it, as long as it increases, their team will become stronger and stronger, and then no one can stop them from opening up new territories. Boss, just trust us, we must open up new fields, only in this way can we become stronger. Hearing what they said, Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong thought about it seriously. He said to them, give me a moment to think, then the next thing we have to do now is to select a person in charge to take charge of this place. Of course, there is a high possibility that someone will come again, clearly, so this person must be capable of this task, but it is very honorable and very responsible. Of course they know, but to be honest, no one wants to do it to raise a piece of land. Boss, I think we need to think carefully about this matter, because if a person in charge is elected, then the person in charge must be capable, and if he is not capable, he will definitely not be able to take the position. Hearing what he said, Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong thought for a while, and he realized that this was indeed the case, and he had already considered it, but he had no way to say it. I know what you're thinking, but there are some things you have to do, and if you don't do it, there's nothing you can do. After the patriarch finished speaking these words, he didn't say any more that he hoped to hear their thoughts. I don't need to say any more now. I will seriously think about what you say. Since Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong said so, now these people, of course, have to express their thoughts. If they don't say anything at these times, then there will definitely be no more opportunities in the future. If this is the case, then it is a waste of such a good opportunity. I don't think we need to keep people here, because this place already belongs to us, and there is no need for us to keep people here. If someone really wants to forcibly capture them and have a lot of manpower, then we will definitely not be able to defeat them. Wouldn't it be superfluous for us to do this? I feel like what this guy said makes sense. But if there is no one who can prove that this territory belongs to us, these words are quite correct. So now we need to carefully consider whether to send people to observe here, and if we send people, who are we going to send there, and if we don't send people, then how can we prove that this is also ours? Although there are signs belonging to them here, but what can this prove? Okay, that's the end of this matter. I know you don't have a good idea right now, so let's come again after I think it through. Don't worry, we will definitely give you a satisfactory answer. Hearing what the boss said, I laughed out loud. Okay, we will listen to you now, after all you are our boss. When I heard what they said, I shook my head helplessly. The reality is indeed like this, but everyone's thoughts are different. I know what you are thinking, but don't worry, I will definitely give each of you a satisfactory answer, and I will definitely not live up to your expectations of me. If they say so, everyone's heart is satisfied. The kind of things to think about now, I really didn't expect these things to become so complicated now. It's just too much. Now that I have made such a decision myself, it is still a waste of time and energy. While thinking this way, Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong immediately made another decision. 297. Although we don't know what will happen next, but I believe that as long as we persist, there must be changes. Can you believe me? When I heard what he said, I laughed out loud. Of course I believed myself, how could I not believe it? We definitely believe in you. As long as you are willing to join us, we will fight hand in hand. Everyone laughed when they said that. That being the case, why do they hesitate? Opening up new fields is their constant purpose. Everyone, don't forget that our goal is to constantly open up new areas. As long as we open up new areas, we can win and win. All the responses, is the result now. Of course they hope to take over all the territories, so that each of them will be a millionaire. Okay, we will definitely work hard, we will insist, this is our goal, this is our unanimous goal. When I heard this group of people shouting here, I couldn't help laughing, it was indeed the case. Okay, since we've all done it now, we've got to do it. Hearing what they said, a group of people nodded immediately. Chapter 203 Reaching an Agreement. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong didn't expect that they all chose to believe in him. To be honest, he was very happy in his heart. Although he didn't know why, he felt very happy when he thought of this place. Okay, now I want to tell you some heartfelt words, because I know that many of you trust me, so I will tell you one thing now, that is, as long as you believe in me, no matter what you do in the future for things, I will put you first, and I will think about it carefully, and you will definitely live up to the hopes you have placed on me. After everyone listened, they immediately nodded. Boss, let's start discussing now. What place we want to occupy next, or open up another field. We can't always be limited to this place. You also know that we have a lot of things to change now. We can't be so rigid anymore. Quote. Although this is the case, I still need to change, and I also need to let them all know my abilities, not only that. Okay everyone, I know what your thoughts are. Now we have to make changes, no matter what, we must have a lot of turmoil now. It is no longer possible to condone that all people will change. Quote. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong said so, and then wanted to leave here, but suddenly thought of their world. In fact, there are still many novel places, and they need to open up another place, only in this way can they persist. Just thinking about myself like this, there is a big change in my heart. Now that these things happen too fast, it's easy to change if you want to, but it's also very simple if you don't want to change. If you want to change a territory, you must break through new methods, and you must have some things you want. If you don't have them, these things are useless. Therefore, if Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong wants to determine a territory now, he just needs to look at the geographical environment there, and he must not change it as casually as before. It will definitely be very difficult to determine this time, but I can't give up because of trouble. At this moment, Toby came up. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong, I think we can change a strategy. If we continue like this, it will definitely be very inconvenient, so we have to consider another method, and I hope you can understand how to choose a thing like this. Hearing what he said, he nodded his head, but he didn't expect that his matter would make him come here. Why did you come here? I have a sense of proportion in my heart. You don't need to intervene here. I know what I want, and you should understand it very well. Of course Toby is clear, but he can't say it yet, but there are some things that he should tell them all when the time comes, and he can't hide anything. I know what you want to express, but don't forget, what is the agreement between the two of us? If we can't change our strategy now, then there is no way to open up new territories. If there is no way to open up new territories, what is the need for our territory to exist? Things have come to this day. Each of them has to undergo great changes, because they have to think clearly about many things before they can do them, otherwise they will not be able to persist. Okay, I know what you're thinking, now we're about to change, and you know it very well. When I heard what he said, I nodded, because there are some things that I really don't understand very well, and I can only talk about them later when I ask them clearly. Okay, you don't need to worry about this matter for now, I have a way. Did you come here just to open up the territory? In fact, the Lanto family is very dangerous now. There are many people who want to stare at them, and want to occupy the position of Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong. You must know that this position is not easy to sit on. Actually, I know what your real purpose for coming to me is. Don't worry, as long as I'm here, I won't give up my position. It's impossible for anyone to come here today. Toby nodded when he heard him say that. Since Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong has already made such a decision, it is useless to say too much, but it is better to rest assured. Now the two of them have fallen into a very rigid ending. No one thought that such a thing would happen, or they simply didn't know how to face such a situation. Okay, the two of us don't talk about these non-existent things here, let's think about another thing quickly, that is, think about what we should do now. Hearing what Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong said, Toby smiled. Of course, this matter is very simple, and that is to leave here and go to another place. Okay, you don't need to say any more, I have my own sense of proportion in this matter, and I didn't expect such a thing to happen, but don't worry, from now on, with me here, many things can be changed. If this is the case, wouldn't many things be much simpler? What else can I say? I really didn't expect that there would be such a big change. I also didn't expect that this time the occupation of this place would be so smooth. If I had known this earlier, I would do such a thing in the future. In fact, the occupation is not very simple. The main reason is that Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong was very lucky this time. If he was not lucky, it would not have ended so smoothly. Their orders were to occupy other lands, and to fight on forever. Only in this way can their value be realized. Wang Li's Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong frowned tightly thinking about what to do this time, and what kind of place he wanted to go. If there is no place to occupy, then he is still very distressed. Toby smiled, and said to him, okay, you don't have to hesitate so much, there are some things that should really change, just like if we don't change now, then there is no way. I nodded myself, of course I knew it was such a thing. But there are some words, I also want them to make some changes, just like this time, Zhang Yang suddenly came over with, Dark Emperor, such a thing will never happen again in the future. I know that if you do such things in the future, you must ensure their safety. If you can't even guarantee the minimum personal safety, you don't have to do such things anymore. Do you understand what I mean? Quote. Chapter 204. Choose a target. I smiled to myself, but of course I understood without speaking, otherwise it would be impossible to think so much before doing something like today. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong, you understand very well that the reason why Toby said this is because he wants to join him and want to invade another territory with him, which is not impossible. I know what you think in your heart. Don't you want to do these things with me? Of course, you can go there together as long as you want. You also know what I think in my heart. As long as we persist, there will be no one man can stop us. Having said that, each of them knew what their initial thoughts were. Okay, I know what you think in your heart. We can implement it now. With you by my side in the future, I believe that the two of us will be even more invincible. No one can stop us. Our progress and our footsteps of occupation. Having said that, now they can change. If they want to choose a place, it is still very troublesome. That place must occupy a lot of places. I know what you're thinking, but I believe that there is a place on the South China Sea side that is very suitable for us to go to. If possible, the two of us can go there and take a look. If it is suitable, we will occupy it. In fact, that place is still very dangerous, because there are many ambiguities there, people and they are very fierce, and once they encounter danger, they must attack with all their strength. Many people don't want to do such a thing. After all, the danger is very great, but there is no way, because if they don't do it, more people will be hurt. I know why you chose that place, but you must also understand that there are some things in your heart. If we don't change, then it will have a great impact on anyone, so I also hope you can understand that you need to look ahead and think clearly before doing anything. Although some people in that place are hateful, there are also some people who are still very pitiful. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong understood very well in his heart, but he didn't know why he had to think so much. Okay, I know what you think in your heart, but you also need to know that there are many things that you have to change. If you don't change, then there is no way to do it. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong smiled, wondering when Toby began to become a mother-in-law. I know what you mean, you don't need to say any more. If you go on, I don't think I need to insist on all this, and I understand what you want to express, but we have to occupy the past, we are not what a nice guy. This sentence is very clear, and it is indeed true. Let's go and take a look now. I know that the people in that place are very cruel. To know about the guys in that place. But it is very sharp, and it does not have eyes. If it hurts itself, it will definitely hurt very much, so you must think carefully. Actually, you don't have to go with me. I know you have a lot of worries in your heart. I never thought of letting you go with me, because those people are not good people, and they are also very cruel. You should know that I want to think about you. When I can hear him say so much, I am already very happy to be the leader of Toxiong. Okay, you don't need to talk about this matter anymore. I have made up my mind. As long as you think it is appropriate, the two of us will go there together. That's fine. I can also solve other things. I smiled and didn't say anything else. Since this matter has developed into what it is today, it must be changed. Can a group of them still be afraid of people of one race? Okay, let's go now. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong said so, and then walked with this Abi person, all of which still have to pay a lot of price. Okay, let's go now. Don't waste each other's time here, and we don't know what kind of danger we will encounter ahead. When I heard him say that, I smiled. Although they haven't cooperated for a long time, but this is the first time they cooperate, to be honest, there is still a tacit understanding, and I am very satisfied with this feeling in my heart. Now these things must be changed. When they came here through the clouds and fog, they were quite shocked when they saw this scene. I really didn't expect them to be so crazy. There are some thorns around, and if you want to occupy it, it may be very difficult. I really don't know what happened. Did they get any stimulation from this group of people? Why do these things so crazy? I believe they also spent a lot of time and energy. However, it also brought a reminder to Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong. If they filled the place they just occupied with these things, I believe it would have an impact and results. It's just that I don't know if the group of people around me will be willing. After all, I have to occupy a new territory. After leading a group of people here, I saw that group of people busy with these things from a distance. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong said to the group of people behind him, brothers, have you seen it? This place is the place we are about to occupy. Do you have the confidence to successfully invade the store? Of course everyone has confidence, if not, why come here? Boss, don't worry, we are all confident that everything will go smoothly, and we will definitely win. Hearing them say this, everyone waved the chessboard in their hands and shouted that they would succeed. Come on. A group of people rushed forward, and Lord Werhe, who was far away, was very nervous when he saw Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong walking down with a group of people. Now that we have come here, we have to put up all our energy and treat them well, and we must not let them wipe us out. Such a thing is still a very serious step. If it is eliminated, then its own territory will disappear. For the safety of his own territory and life, he had to defeat Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong, and he didn't know why Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong came to do such a thing. It was too much, and he didn't inform himself. You group of people is really too much, everyone has everyone's territory, why do you come here to interfere with our world and life? I advise you to hurry up and leave. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong has never been afraid of these languages. Chapter 205 What? And feel very exciting. Lord were he, I warn you that you are already mine at this age. If you want to leave unharmed or be taken over by me, then just hurry up and stop making unnecessary struggles. You will only let yourself be troubled. I laughed out loud, whether I would be troubled, what does it have to do with him? I warn you, Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong, don't know how many weapons you have in your hand, you can do whatever you want, lawlessness is impossible, what I want to do has nothing to do with you, but here is mine you can't, intervene. Of course I wouldn't listen to it, I finally found a fun place. Of course, you can't say let go and let go, this is simply a dream here. You don't need to say any more, this is the place I found with great difficulty, of course I won't leave just now, and I just saw this place, it's impossible for you to want me to leave. When I heard him say that, I smiled. You are simply making trouble for no reason. Zhang Yang invaded your place, but you came to occupy my place. Is there someone like you? Lord were he couldn't figure out what was going on with Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong. The feeling of being violated by others, why do such things? It is too much. I know what you're thinking. Do you think I'll give up? That's impossible. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong's nonsense has really reached a certain level. You are really going too far now. I really didn't expect you to do such a thing. Now I can tell you that if you really want to do these things, then I will definitely make you pay for it. There is a price, starting today, you and I are irreconcilable. In fact, Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong didn't want to quarrel with Lord Were he at all, but there was no way. This place was very good, and if he wanted to occupy it, he had to make him worry about himself. Don't think that all these things have nothing to do with you. I believe that this territory was also taken by you. Don't think that you are much nobler than me. This is impossible. But Lord Were he snatched it with his own strength, so what does it have to do with him? What is he doing with the money here? What I want to do has nothing to do with you. Don't talk nonsense here. If you really want to occupy my territory, then I will definitely let you go around. Don't feel that you are very crazy. When you said it like this, you can quickly use a blue waste. This monster is very beautiful, but when the oil is on the body, it is also very painful, and most people can't bear it. I really didn't expect that you would take the initiative to hurt me. Let me tell you, do you think that you are very powerful now, so you can do whatever you want? It's just a joke here. I tell you to start today, I will now formally draw you into my enemy. I laughed out loud when I heard him say that. He had already become his enemy. The moment he planned to invade his territory, he was already his enemy. You are just joking here. I know best whether you are my enemy. I never thought of making you my friend. If you hurt the people around me today, then I will definitely let you go. You know what kind of price you need to pay for violating my territory and taking my things. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong smiled. He didn't know why this person was so powerful. He was pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger here. Everything he said was funny. Let me tell you, if you really can, then we can try it now. After your skill is released, I think it is not funny at all, and it is also very fun. I never thought that a woman like you would use such a small skills. Although I don't have too many weapons on my body, I have a lot of skills. Once released, some people will have no way to escape after experiencing it. You are so funny. Use this skill to hurt me. Let me tell you, this skill is a piece of cake for me. I hope you understand. The two of them quickly fought in the sky. To be honest, they had never seen a woman who was as powerful as a man, and also very domineering. I have to say that this person still has abilities, but I didn't expect that a woman is very powerful in using skills, but the only shortcoming is not having a weapon. If Lord Were he had a weapon, it would be very powerful. If they had a weapon now, Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong would probably fail. Don't talk about it, let's wait and see what happens here. I didn't expect this woman to be so powerful, now we have to see who wins and who loses for a while. When hearing what they said, everyone smiled. This matter is indeed out of the scope of consideration. They must now think about one thing clearly. Okay, let's start right now. Do the group of people around you want to come together? If so, I can think about it and let you pay for it, but if not, I won't come together of. Lord Were he didn't want the people around him to be in danger, so he shook his head, hoping that he would follow the instructions. You don't have to think about bringing my people into your side here. It's impossible. My people are just building a wall here. You can break into the wall first, and then you can talk about it. You know that we are all wipe out the poison, and once injured, there will be no place to bury him. This person is still very cruel. I saw him like a nine-tailed snake. Once used, it must be very poisonous. You are simply joking with me here, and you actually want to treat me in this way. I tell you that starting today, you and I are at odds. I laughed out loud when I heard him say that, so what can I do? He can't change anything. You can do whatever you want, and there is no way. What I want to do now is to let you know what is going on in my mind. Don't you always feel that you are very powerful? Then let's compare the two of us and see whoever loses wins. Lord Were he said this sentence very angrily, and then began to use the skills in his body. Release all these things and beat Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong fiercely, making her completely regret coming here. Chapter 206 The Unknown Battle. Lord Were he really didn't expect that this group of people would go so far, wanting to invade other people's territory. How is this possible? Everyone has something that everyone wants to do, how can they occupy it if they want to? Just kidding here. You people are really disgusting. I found this place with great difficulty. In the end, if you want to stand, you stand. Don't you think this is too disgusting and too powerful? I warn all of you, as long as I'm here for a day, you don't have to think about occupying me and occupying my territory. Although this person said so, what can this do? What they want to do is something that no one can change. Only Lord Were he smiled disdainfully. Slowly use your skills, in fact, its skills are light. What a brutal skill. If it is used clearly, many people have no way to change it. This is really a very painful thing. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong also understands it very well in his heart, but he has to make a choice, because there is no way to change this thing, because he has no way to retreat when he comes here road. No one knows what will happen in the future, but they have to change now. Your skill is nothing but a trivial skill to us. I really didn't expect you to think it was a skill. When he heard what he said, Lord Were he was very angry, remembering that his ability was not good enough, but he couldn't say it so openly, and said it so unscrupulously. It's too much for you to say that about me. Don't forget that we are still capable, and each of us is very different. When I heard what he said, I was very angry. I really didn't expect such a situation to happen. This man is simply too much, and he is talking about such things to himself. I'm warning you, you still have time to withdraw your troops now, but if you don't withdraw, you will die a very miserable death. Don't think that I can forgive you for saying these things now. When I heard him say that, I smiled. Do you think your words are useful? Since we have brought our troops here, it proves that we will definitely capture your place by force. I advise you to hurry up, otherwise my sword will not be spared. Yours. When I heard what he said, I laughed out loud. After all, I am also a capable person, how could I give up because of his few words, and my current experience depends on him. You were just joking with me there. Do you find it useful to say these things? When I heard what he said, I shook my head helplessly, and I'll know if it's useful or not after a while. You will know in a while whether you have used it or not. Don't feel that you are very strong now. I will warn you for the last time. No matter what you do in the future, you must carefully consider your true strength before making a decision. It feels like he is not qualified to come and teach him a lesson now, and he is capable of doing these things now. Shut up now, you are not qualified to tell me. If this is the case, I will tell you one last time. If you say such a thing in the future, I will definitely make you regret it. Everything has to change. Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong must teach this woman a good lesson now. She speaks out of proportion. Haven't you counted how many abilities you have? It's just ridiculous. How could the territory that I had won so hard be changed just because of his few words? The words you are saying now are here to speak. Let me tell you, the two of us can try it now. Can you bear my skills? You must know that the most dazzling skills are not something ordinary people can bear. I laughed. The ability of Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong is very powerful, because Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong also has his own protection skills. If he uses it now, whoever is injured may not be the one. And Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong now has a rebound skill. No one has ever told anyone about this. If you think you can really win me, then you can try it now, but if you think you can't win me, then stop talking, because these things are not worthy for you to have, you can try again. I laughed out loud when I heard him say that. It has nothing to do with him. You don't need to talk anymore. This matter has nothing to do with you. If you feel like this and can make you feel, you can try it, but if not, please shut up. Hearing what he said, Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong could feel that this woman was already on the verge of anger. Only by making this woman angry can he use the treasures to be useful. Although this is a bit despicable, in order to take this territory as my own, I can only do such a thing, leading my own people to say. Of course I know what you are thinking now, this woman is certainly good looking, but this geomantic treasure is our ultimate goal, do you understand what I mean? When they heard what they said, a group of people nodded immediately, of course they understood very well. Boss, don't worry, we can all understand this matter, and we know it very well in our hearts. Don't worry about what to do next. From now on, we will follow you to occupy this territory. What do we need to do now? In fact, they are all 4.2 very smart, but they don't know what to do and need someone to lead them. Okay. You don't need to talk about it, let me tell you about this. This woman is very hateful, we must take this place down now, but this woman will use a very dazzling light skill, every one of us now goggles must be worn. When Patriarch Lan Tuoxiong said so, he immediately gave them a pair of goggles. Lord Were he was very surprised when he saw this, he did not expect this man to be so well prepared. It's really abominable, actually thinking about my skills so stealthily, but I secretly practiced another skill, I believe this man must not know it, and I can use it superimposed after a while. Chapter 207 Incapable of Change. Lord Were he didn't know why team leader Lan Tuoxiong wanted to occupy their territory so stubbornly this time, but it definitely wasn't a sudden thought. That is to say, someone said in front of him the benefits of their place, that's why they said that, but so what? This place can only be occupied by himself, and no one can change it. When thinking of this, he said to this man very seriously, If you really want to occupy our place, then you should show your real skills, and don't use your three-legged cat skills to deal with me, then it's impossible, one of my skills can hit you 5 miles away. I laughed out loud when I heard him say that. It is true, this woman also has her own strengths, but so what, she is also very powerful. Lan Tuoxiang's weapon is slowly being used, and today he also wants to let this woman feel her own strength, and don't let him talk about herself all the time. Now you know that some things in 07 are not as simple as you think, and you can't change them. You just need to cooperate with us now. If you can win us, then all of this will be as if I never came. Well, I can even apologize to you, but if you fail, then you get the place out. Hearing them say that team leader Lan Tuoxiang is going to attack, this time he must save face. I will definitely regret it this time, because our ability must not be what you can think of. When they heard what they said, this group of people seemed to be planning to attack. To be honest, I have never seen such a formation. Even though I was very helpless in my heart, there was nothing I could do. It's all their choice. Okay, you don't need to talk nonsense anymore. These things are like idiotic dreams to us. Generally, this place must belong to me. After Lan Tuoxiang's team leader Hockey said these words, he immediately showed his weapon, and no one could stop him. It's impossible for you to stop me, the only thing you can do now is to do what I say. I finally chose a site, but this woman still wants to stop me, is this a dream? What do you mean? Just be so domineering, choose our place and not leave. Of course it is for sure, they finally found this place, how could they leave easily? You don't need to say any more, I can't let you come in again. Hearing Lord Werhe's emphatic tone, team leader Lan Tuoxiang also smiled helplessly. It seemed that she was like a child who hadn't grown up and was still stuck in the memory of the past. You are so funny, you don't know what we need to pay for this matter. When I heard them say that, I laughed. Because it is useless to say too much, it is better not to say anything, only in this way their results will be better. Although I don't know what you are talking about here, I can tell you responsibly that you cannot attack our territory, because we have already set up many walls, and it is impossible for you to attack of. Hearing what he said, he shook his head, but the weapons and manpower in his hands were beyond his comprehension. You may not know how many soldiers I have in my hand. Team leader Lan Tuoxiang said so confidently, believing that no one could stop him from taking over. I don't care how many people you have under your command, or whether these people under your command are humans or dogs, the only thing I can do is to make you regret it. Lord Werhe is very proud, because there are really not many things he can do. There is no other way. If they choose this path, they must persevere. No one can stop it. Since we chose to capture your place, we have already made full assurances. If you think you can't hold on, then you should hurry up and give us this place, don't waste so much time. Lord Werhe smiled at himself, how could he not be fully sure? You don't need to talk anymore. For me, this matter is not possible at all. You can leave here now. When I heard them say that, I smiled. They didn't know what to say, but they still had to insist on this matter. Leader Lan Tuoxiang used his big move at this time. No one can stop them from taking this place and occupying their own determination. Because this time success or failure is very important. If they succeed, they will probably reach the pinnacle of the world. When their territory continues to expand, this is the most important thing. If they fail, then many things might have to come back. Don't talk about this matter. I never thought that you would be so stubborn. Let me tell you that this territory must belong to us, whether you believe it or not. Hearing what the other party said, he nodded himself. Whatever the outcome, they must change. But now they seem to have no other choice. Can only go on like this. Thinking about it is still very helpless. No matter what the future will be, they must find a way to change now, or they may give up, but they have no other choice. Thinking like this, I made a very bold decision. Brothers, maybe for a while, we will be hit and hit hard, but don't worry, as long as we survive this hurdle and occupy this territory, we will be the most powerful opponent in the world. Although this is what they say, how can they say that success can be successful? It's like a dream, it's impossible. Are you kidding me here? Do you think you guys can go up after coming down? Although this is what he said, Lord Werhe believed in his own abilities and skills, and he would definitely defeat them all. It can also make them lose all games, and then he will be the biggest powerhouse in the world. You don't have to make these jokes with me anymore, it's really funny, and I really don't know what you guys think, how can you feel that your abilities are superior to mine? Lord Werhe is a very proud person, because his skills are very outstanding. Chapter 208 Peak. So I feel that my ability has been greatly improved. But for Lan Tuoxiang, all this is like a dream. Taking charge of a family by myself has never been such a proud decision for such a long time. It turned out that this woman actually had such an idea. It's just so frustrating. I really didn't expect that one day, you would have such an idea, and now I don't know what to say to you. Because the matter is of great importance this time, they must seriously consider it. Only then can other decisions be made, but now they find that even if they have considered it seriously, things are very complicated. It may be very difficult to want to change. It's terrifying that you have such thoughts. I don't care what happens to you next, I will definitely make you regret it, because now your place will be handed over. This group of people is so funny, how could they have such an idea? No matter what they want to do, I will definitely make them regret it, because Lord Werhe's territory is not allowed to be invaded by anyone. You group of vicious people would actually do such a thing. I tell you that it is impossible. As long as I live for a day, you don't have to think about occupying my place. It's like a dream. Hearing what the other party said, everyone showed a disdainful smile. Of course they knew that this matter was still difficult, but they also knew that once they did it, they would not regret it. No one can change it, because this matter is very difficult for him, and they have to find a way to make a decision. Team leader Lan Tuoxiong didn't give them too many chances to react at the beginning, because the more time they had to react to this matter, the more damage they would encounter, so they wanted to attack directly, so there was nothing they could do to refute. But I didn't expect this woman to be so smart. From the very beginning, she already guessed what she was going to do. Do you feel that if you do this, I will regret it, or hurt you? This is impossible, because from today onwards you and I are at odds, because you broke into my territory first, come and do what I should do things backquote. Although it is said so, everyone will be afraid. You are really disgusting. Since you want to do such a thing, I will tell you one last time to withdraw the troops quickly. You can still live, but if you persist like this, you will not be far from death. Each of them smiled. It seems that this woman is still very rampant, but no matter what, their stubbornness can actually be changed with a few words. I really didn't expect that you still have such a powerful ability. From now on, I will make you regret it. I will let you see what real regret is. Team leader Lan Tuoxiong said so, and immediately launched an attack to make this person completely repent of his arrogant words just now. Lord Werhe is not a fool, and he also has his own ideas. When they want to invade, they have already made a decision. Isn't it a world war? They have already planned it. And when I occupy this territory, I should know what will happen, so at the beginning, I have already thought about all the strategies. Seeing such a ferocious attack, I still couldn't help laughing. Do they think they can stop themselves like this? I'm just joking here, all of this has a lot to do with me. No matter what, there is no way to change many things, and the things they want to do have nothing to do with themselves. You want to stop me, it's impossible, no matter what happens in the future, everything has to change. When I heard what they said, I laughed out loud. There are some things that I really should understand now. If you don't understand, there is no way to change many things, so many things have to be led by Werhe and make a decision now. When he heard what they said, Lord Werhe smiled, and the group of people around him were still very cute. Do you think that doing this will change a lot of things? Hearing him asking this question, he nodded himself. It is indeed such an idea. Could it be that there are other ideas if this does not change? You group of people is so funny that you have such a breakdown, such an idea. Let me tell you, everything you want to do now has nothing to do with me. You should understand what I want to say is what? Super. Of course they understand, and it is precisely because they understand that it is called a strong attack, which is the most important thing. When thinking about it this way, everyone was very shocked. Backquote. What the hell are you talking about? To make such a crazy move, I tell you, it's like a dream. You want to invade our territory, you bring people to fight. Lord Werhe no longer has any temper, and he will not talk to him anymore. After all, he is really tired now, and it is a waste of time for this person to say these words. Team leader Lan Tuoxiong really has the ability, so he broke through his own wall first. If you really have such a great ability, then break through our mechanism first, then I will consider you a man. If you don't have such a great ability, don't talk anymore. Hearing what they said, he nodded obediently. It is indeed the case. But what can this do, and what can it change? It's like dreaming. If you can really attack our organs, then you are considered a man, Mono Zhao, but if you can't, then don't talk so much nonsense. I nodded myself and didn't say anything else, because this matter is very important. Looking at the group of brothers behind him, he nodded immediately. He really didn't expect that one day they would be the same as him. Become so powerful. What else can I say? This is the most important thing, and it is useless to say too much. Okay, don't say any more. This matter is simply a surprise to you and me, and there is no way to change it. I nodded myself, and then smiled. I really didn't expect this matter to be so powerful for them. You don't need to talk so much nonsense anymore, but when I said so much, I have already let you know what our capabilities look like, but if you really don't change, I have nothing to do. Chapter 209 The winner is king. Leader Lan Tuoxiong didn't want to talk nonsense with them anymore. After all, this society is like this, the winner is the king, and the loser is the bandit. In this world of winners and losers, aren't they just wasting each other's time by talking so much? If you are wasting time here, you might as well do it directly with real swords and guns. They also wanted me to do such a thing a long time ago, but they never said it. Do you think we don't want to? Let me tell you, the moment you want to invade our territory, we have long wanted to kill you. Leader Lan Tuoxiong knew very well that they wanted to kill themselves, which was also a very normal thing. It's just that sometimes, but I can't say what I think in my heart. Since this is the case, I have no other words to say that we can win us when we see you on the battlefield, and then I will talk about other things. He nodded himself and didn't speak. See you on the battlefield, it proves that they really want to fight to the death, whoever loses wins, then this territory is the prize. Everyone, I believe you will definitely trust me, because you also know that if we lose this territory, we will have to give it up. I believe that if we all work together, we will be able to win this war. Do you have confidence? When hearing what the boss said, everyone at the scene was very excited. Of course they were confident. Who would not have confidence in such a thing? This is their family relationship. Boss, don't worry, we are all fully confident that we will be able to win. Everyone nodded to hear them say that, and it would be great if that was true. When thinking of this, everyone said very seriously, from today onwards, we will have no life or death relationship with the Lanto people. To be honest, I still feel very sad when I say such words. I never thought that such a big change would happen one day. I heard this sentence in another place, but team leader Lan Tuoxiong didn't say a word. Even so what? There is nothing they can do to change. There is no way to change it, because each of them has limited ability, so they can only obey the arrangement here. Everyone, did you hear AHBG, what the other party said? We must not be ashamed. This battle is really very helpless, this battle of life and death. To be honest, whoever wins is the king. But the loser is the real poor person, like Lord Werhe, who fought for the territory with great difficulty, but was favored by others in the end. This is the most embarrassing thing. I don't know what to say about this. Let's hurry up and start other things without thinking about it. Lord Werhe nodded. He wanted to start a long time ago, but he has been waiting here for himself, and he didn't know what he was thinking there, so he didn't say start. I didn't expect that I would be able to stand on the battlefield and have a good fight with you. Since I use skills and you use weapons, then the two of us have nothing in common, so let's start directly. When their boss was about to fight, a group of people looked down below, hoping that their respective bosses could win and not lose. This site is a treasured land of geomantic omen. Lord Werhe, you must work hard, and you must not lose. Of course they won't admit defeat. In this battle of life and death, whoever wins is the king. You feel that you are very powerful now, so next, I will let you see what is really strong. When they said this, they immediately started to attack. This time the attack was really fierce. No one thought that their abilities were so powerful. It's pretty scary to think about it that way. But no matter what they have to do is not just the current one. Since you don't want to admit it, then I can't say anything more. It's just that there is one very important thing. I must tell you that if you want to fight us, you must use some abilities. Team leader Lan Tuoxiong said so, and then summoned his weapon back. Fortunately, the Dark Emperor, snatched from Zhang Yang's hand can last for a while. Otherwise, I really don't know what to do. After all, my weapon has been sealed now, and I can't get it back in a short time. I only heard Lord Werhe disdainfully say, do you just want to use this weapon to deal with me? It's too contemptible. Let me tell you, I thought you would use some kind of weapon like a Shangfang sword, but no, think of you and use this Black Emperor. Although this weapon is really embarrassing, Zhang Yang always thinks it is a treasure. I was also very helpless and couldn't say anything. Then nodded. Since I've said this clearly, I won't say it again. You can believe it or not, I've already put it here. I nodded myself, but didn't say anything else. Other things have come to this point. I believe that each of them has no room for repentance. I have to say that you are still very strong, but if you want to fight us, you are still a little weaker. You should go home and train for a few years. This is simply a joke. They are well aware of their abilities. How powerful our own abilities are, I am afraid that only we know best in our hearts. It is useless for you to say so much, just wait for death obediently. Hearing what he said, Lord Werhe and team leader Lan Tuoxiong glanced at each other, and great hatred broke out between them. To be honest, before this, I never thought that the two of them could become feuds. This is really a very miraculous thing. At first they thought they were all in love and killed each other, but they didn't expect that now they only have the latter. I don't know why team leader Lan Tuoxiong chose this place, he clearly knew that it was captured by himself through hard work. You are too much, you know everything, but you don't pay the fruits of other people's labor. Lord Werhe was very angry, feeling that leader Lan Tuoxiong was deliberately provoking here. I did this for your own good too. If you hand over the place earlier, you can relax a bit. This is not something that belongs to you. Does it belong to Lord Werhe and has nothing to do with team leader Lan Tuoxiong? Catch you and get the hell out of here. Whether this thing belongs to me has nothing to do with you. Don't press me with the ideas of the older generation. Leader Lan Tuoxiong was not talking, because she was like a hedgehog now, she would not listen to anything. Since you have already spoken to this extent, what else can I say? I will definitely make you look good today. Chapter 210. Lord Werhe is very unconvinced. No one can invade his territory. This is an impossible thing. Thinking about it is like a dream. How can they do such a thing? If you want to invade my territory, it's impossible, those who hurt me are just dreaming. When I heard them say that, I laughed out loud. It's a dream if you think so. If we have the ability, let's try it with real swords. Lord Werhe has already started to use his skills at this time, no matter what his ability is, but since he dares to hurt himself now, he will have to pay a heavy price, no matter who this person is, it is impossible. Although I don't know what your ability is, but now I want to let you know that there are some things that must be changed. If you can't change, then you have to pay a lot of price. The group of people behind team leader Lan Tuoxiong can't take it anymore. How can there be such a tacit understanding of a woman? You don't need to say any more. Now we have launched an attack, like an octopus, slowly eroding all your things. When they said these words, they came to the mechanism they set up. To be honest, this place is still very dangerous. No one thought that this place would look like this, and they were very surprised in their hearts. You don't have to think about it anymore. This place is specially created for you. If you can't do it, then you don't have to say so much, it's useless. Hearing these words from team leader Lan Tuoxiong, he laughed. For them, this thing is simply a piece of cake. Do you think we can't break through this thing? It's like a dream. It's just such rubbish stuff. Isn't it a matter of minutes to break through? When I heard him say that, I smiled, but didn't speak. You don't have to think about it anymore, it's impossible. Hearing what they said, he shook his head. It's like a dream. If you want to break through here, it's impossible. Lord He was very firm. It was impossible for them to break through here. It was like a dream. At this time, it took them more than a month to build a mechanism. Do you think that you are very powerful? If we build a mechanism, we will have no way to break through. Let me tell you that your place is simply too simple. For us, it is a piece of cake. Although there is an agency here, what can we do? As long as they can change, other things are not important. You don't have to think about it, this place is simply not important to you. If you think there is no way to change it, then hurry up and go to another place. Everyone laughed when they said that. This is simply a joke. It is very difficult for them to break through in this place, because there are many organs hidden in the dark, and there is no way to get in. Do you think it's very normal for you to do this? I tell you it's not normal. It's impossible for you to break through from here, because of the mechanism here, you have no way at all. Thinking that he will be here where? Although it is said so, who is the leader of Lan Tuoxiong? How could team leader Lan Tuoxiong be afraid of these things while holding the Dark Emperor? Unless these institutions are the opponents of the Dark Emperor. You should know that I hold the health care of the Black Emperor in my hand. If you want to fight with me at this time, I'm afraid you are not my opponent. You want to do other things, it's just a dream. Of course I understood what he meant by saying that, but what can he do with a weapon? These mechanisms of mine have also exhausted all my IQ. You don't need to say any more, you should understand why we can't do this. I smiled and didn't speak. Now all these situations are very obvious, everyone knows who will win and who will lose next, and they all know what to do next. This institution is very dangerous. Still pretty scary to think about. But now team leader Lan Tuoxiong actually charged quickly with the Black Emperor in his hand. To be honest, when they saw this, everyone was scared. This man was like a lunatic, how could he attack so quickly? They didn't even see the speed, and finally came in front of him. It's impossible, what did you do? 0. Seeking flowers. Lord He couldn't believe it and asked, what did team leader Lan Tuoxiong do, and how could he have such a great achievement today? What I did has nothing to do with you, you just need to know that these organs have been breached by me, and they have all been destroyed. I don't believe that such a thing will happen to me, and it is impossible. You don't need to say any more, I won't believe that you did all of this, because I know very well what kind of ability you are. It is also possible that Lord He still feels that he knows the man in front of him very well, but time has passed and many things have changed. 0. It was at this time that 10 very fantastic things happened. Team leader Lan Tuoxiong suddenly backed up continuously. This is also a kind of mechanism, that is, when he reaches this limit, he will be forcibly pulled back. Leader Lan Tuoxiong was very confused. He didn't know what happened. He was still in front of Lord He just now. Why did he come here suddenly? What's the situation? What did you do to me? We have said before that we want to fight normally, how can you use such despicable means? I smiled to myself, isn't it because of them that I did such a thing? Lord He said disdainfully. If it wasn't because you came to provoke me just now, I would not have used this mechanism. You must know that this is our last whole card, but if you came to provoke me, I would there is no other way, and all of this is your own fault. When I heard what he said, I nodded my head and realized that this person still has a hand, but that's fine, otherwise it would be meaningless and challenging to fight against a mentally handicapped man. I really didn't expect that you, a woman, would have such a big idea, but it's good, at least you won't suffer in the future. Lord He didn't want to talk to this man at all. He felt that team leader Lan Tuoxiong was like a lunatic, encroaching on other people's place, but he felt very polite. Do you think you are very good, so you feel very kind?